everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage. Welcome to tonight's session of the Tales of Evrand. We have everybody here today, ready for some very, very fun, wonderful downtime that I know all of us are excited to get through. So let's go ahead and roll the intro, and then dive in. All right, and we are back. Take it away, John.
Welcome back to the Tales of Evrand, episode 52, book 5, chapter 6.
Yeah.
I started reading the Twitch title now, so I'm on top of this. Before we jump into the game...
So as long as I'm right, you'll be right. That's
yes, good. Yeah. So if I'm wrong, it's because of you. Before we get into the game, obviously, we're going to go over summary, and we don't do that here. The DMs don't do that. The players do. And this week is Nick as Gak. So Nick is Gak. What happened last week?
Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you. If you didn't have time to watch the last session, I've got you, because I'm about to say the summary of what happened last session.
This is profound already.
I need silence. Thank you.
Hey, it's me, Gak. We should have prepared for this fight more better. We prepared a very long time to fight one sexy guy, and we jump into a hole that's filled with an evil eye, an evil brain, and an evil lots of people. There was also an evil dragon that was falling apart. Rian died, but he came back way faster than Gideon. Everyone else fell apart. We had worms in our head. Everything else is blurry. The end.
I didn't even get to start playing this music. Well, now I gotta open the session with this music because I started playing it.
That's fine.
Hey, regardless, NW Merchant gets it. So we're good.
Hey, that's all that matters.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will say, Rian did not die. But all that Gak knows is that Rian disappeared like Gideon did, but that he just came back. Yeah, so he came back a lot faster.
Can't wait for that conversation in this session. All right, enough of this.
So don't watch the last 4-hour session. I got you.
Don't need to anymore. So, diving back.
So, diving back into the
game. That's the normal DM voice, and then you like have this weird creature coming in. Hey guys, so I'm gonna kill you.
So,
hey guys, Chris Pratt here.
Diving back into the game. The party had made their way out of the Underdark after successfully destroying the Elder Brain, an artifact that controlled the Elder Brain, creating this fungus that grew underneath Basil's garden. Unfortunately, Basil's garden and house did fall into a large pit in the ground. But seemingly, as you teleported away, you felt very confident that the spread of this plague, this infection, this fungus, has been taken care of. With a decent chunk of the story that we had beginning of this campaign kind of taken care of at this point, the party made their way to their new home, Stormhold Keep. South of the mountains of Shredina, as you made your way there, you saw this beautiful ruin-esque of a keep. It's a fixer-upper. It's something that you'll have to pour some gold into, but exactly, just like the Frozen song.
Bit of a fixer-upper.
Yep. But you find this piece that finally most of you have not really had a home in a while. And then we will get into what we are calling downtime. The party has finally gotten to a point where the world doesn't seem to be, well, ending at this moment. But it doesn't seem that there's anything pressing for the party to do currently. So for the next month, the party will be taking care of tasks, goals, and things that they want to achieve. So this will be a large role play session, probably this and the next. So let's just dive into it. I will go first off with things that each of you will be liking to do at the keep itself. And I will go one at a time to each of you for the things that doesn't necessarily need to be role played. Off screen is what we've talked about. So, first up, Gideon. You're at the keep. What does Gideon off screen want to do during this month?
Ooh, okay. I mean, am I just listing one or am I listing everything?
Everything that has to do with the keep and not travel.
Okay, so one, I think he'd be talking to the entire party and he'd be kind of spearheading, like, organizing the hiring of some sellswords for some guards to defend the keep while people are gone. And then also, just in terms of what people want added to the keep, I think Gideon's just kind of keeping all the notes together and, like, figuring out the budget and the funding and all that kind of stuff. So those are the main things that he would be doing in the off time, is kind of overseeing, like, those two big projects and, like, the construction or the reconstruction of the keep, I guess.
Okay. Easy enough to do. With sellswords themselves, it would probably, if you wanted to get actual guards for the keep, obviously they wouldn't be Isvarian guards or Valamine guards or anything like that, but those who specialize in guarding abodes, it would probably, you could probably, what's your base charisma score?
Mine?
Yeah.
14.
Could
Plus
Rian
2.
help him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Rand's is
that
18.
all right?
I would say during
Trying
this
to
whole,
save us some money, man.
No,
I know during this downtime, people are going to be traveling back and forth from Shradina as well, doing some stuff. So I would say that on a trip to Shradina, Rian and Gideon, you would be able to... Well, I would ask, how many guards are you trying to get for the keep?
20.
20. Okay. So each guard, we will say, will cost around 10 gold a month.
Okay.
So 200 gold
100 gold a
a month for 20 guards.
You have, it's a 12-month year.
Ooh,
That's a good
I think
question.
so. Yeah, that's a good question for me. I think so. Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
For a moment, I was like, did you just ask that? And then I remembered that we're in a fantasy world right now.
Oh, shit.
I can't believe you were a teacher, Joe.
Hey, the U.S. Education system's broken. Even the teachers are stupid. Except for Kayla.
Oh, wait,
Kayla's
what am I
perfect.
doing? I have...
Kayla
I have
is
a
perfect.
calendar.
Oh, she's
You
the
guys are
most
beautiful.
perfect person in the stop.
Yes, it is a 12-month year.
Okay, so
I'm just
2,400
dumb.
gold. We'll pay them in advance for a year.
Okay. Okay, let me
Yeah.
note that down.
Or
That's
I guess we
good.
could put... Oh my god. Well, we should probably also hire a steward, right? And then the steward could be in charge of paying the guards their monthly salaries.
Yeah,
That's-
John. Yeah, an NPC's in charge of paying the salaries. John, you figure it out.
Shit.
Because, I mean, theoretically, obviously, it's a game. But, like, if we didn't pay them a year in advance and then we fuck off for 6 months, they could just leave.
Well, I think what we're saying is we'll take a year's worth out of our coin and they
Yeah.
will get that pay over the year, so we don't have to worry about it for a year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So
2,400 GP. Okay. Let me pull up.
Awesome.
This is going to be a heavy calculator session for me.
Yeah, dude. This is the
37.
ultimate shopping session.
Minus 2,400.
Okay. So I also have that written down. You're paying for 20 guards, 200 a month, 2,400 gold you have paid.
I'm also keeping this noted in the group fund page on Rian's character sheet. So we still have 11,000 gold left in the group fund. So
Perfect.
Is this also subtracting the? Because we just basically subtracted the 25,000 total it would take to refurbish the whole keep, right?
We already took care of that, right, Joe? The 20 that money.
I don't have it denoted on here. What did we say? 24,000?
25.
25,000?
Mm-hmm. That is, I think that brings it to a level 3 keep, and anything you guys want to do with it, you can do.
So as of right now, we don't have enough money to pay that.
What if we just leave it up to chance?
What?
Because right
Hey,
now
Joe,
Let's just leave the lights on and hope people think we're home.
we have 21,000 gold in the party fund, but we have not received money from Gak yet or Enid. Which Felicity said Enid would give money, but it just felt weird for Enid to give money right after she got the money. So I think, we're at the table, like talking
is
about.
like sitting there stressing over the bills.
I don't know how we're gonna pay for this.
Like she'll say, "All right, I'm buying it. I'm part of the group or something. Give me a room while you're at it." Yeah.
Everybody else gave. How much did everybody else give? Gideon gave 5,000.
I
think yours.
Basil gave the same amount as Rian, which was 2,000.
2,000. Okay, and then Yursa gave 10. Oh my god.
Jesus.
She doesn't need money.
We'll say that, yeah, this
She's like, "I don't
conversation
need
is
this
brought
crap."
up to everybody at the table
Yeah.
currently. So, Gak, you were also there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The conversation of money is brought up.
Yes.
Are you putting any money in or not? Yep.
He's taking his dip.
Gak he's looking at everybody and he's going,
Okay, I know I wrote it down in my notes, but I don't feel like digging through my notes. How much money in total did we get from?
60K each.
Oh my god. There it is. I found it after you said it. See?
That's crazy. It just appeared.
Wild. Okay, so if we got 60K.
I can give up more. Like, it's not.
Rianne,
Yeah, Gak.
do you need my money?
I think the keep needs your money. I'm fine, but I think the keep might need it, or else they're gonna. Yes, if you have any you could give, that would be very nice.
How much more did we figure out it would come to?
The difference between the two would be,
So right now the keep is costing 27,400 gold.
okay. Well, let's not count the guards because I already subtracted that from the gold total.
All right. Never mind.
So the difference is 2,930 gold. We need to have like a car wash or something.
No, 2,000 something, and everyone else gave roughly 2,000. She'll give 2,000.
Gak hasn't.
Gak
Yeah.
is reaching into his bag
Okay.
and he's just like, because did we put some stuff in the bank and stuff?
Yeah.
I don't-
I don't know.
We
I mean, yes,
essentially
but-
said all of you have 60K on your character sheets, but that is physically impossible for you to
Yeah.
carry 60,000 gold around with you.
Right.
So it's in the bank. So I gave 2,000.
Okay.
Gak tends to need more expensive items and things as a wizard, so he can give the last little bit.
All right,
Rianne,
that
I don't
means-
know what to do.
Gak, what do you? Okay, what do you mean?
He can't.
That's what I want. What do you mean?
Brianna, allow me. And
Okay.
I
Gideon
don't
will
know how much money I have.
Oh my god.
Gideon will go over and he'll just pull out 1,000 coins and set them down. Are you willing to donate that to the party, Gak? It is not a lot compared to what you have total.
It looks like a lot.
It's not.
Gak will reach into his bag and he'll just like take a handful of coins also, and he's like, and these two.
Okay.
3,050.
How much was that?
It's,
Yeah,
so-
that'll work.
So 1,050 gold from Gak, and then 2,000 from Enid. Cool. Plus 3,050. That leaves us with a total of 120 gold left in the party fund.
Glad we
I'll
got
give
that
it-
taken care of.
Well, so
I'll go ahead and put 2,000 more into the party fund in general.
Okay. Gold from Enid.
here's
Gak,
what I'm gonna say, right?
Hazel.
Gak over time is gonna keep coming back to Rian and giving him more coins. Like every time he sees him, he's gonna be like, "Oh, here you go," and he's gonna pull stuff out and give it to him.
Okay.
And he's going to over time give 10,000 gold.
Oh, that's very nice.
Jeez.
So an extra
Nice.
990, or no,
900.
895 gold.
Okay, so
895
plus
platinum.
8,000. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
I converted my stuff
8,000.
into platinum, so I'm trying to figure it out.
50.
Okay.
I too converted it all to platinum for the
Yeah.
sake of it.
Okay, so
Amazing.
that means we're back up to
Hey.
our bank account is just spiking.
You're
So
about
The
to
bank's
get
like,
a
I think these
call.
guys launder money.
You're about
Yeah.
to get a sending stone from the bank saying, "We've noticed."
Unusual
transactions
activity,
yeah.
can
The
you
amount of money
confirm that
you're
you
taking
are?
out and putting in is unreasonable.
Okay, so that means we're back up to 11k gold.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. I'm gonna put question mark. Gold from Gak
All right.
over time.
So
Am I still answering what I'm doing off screen?
yes, we're still on, we're still on
Alright.
Gideon off screen.
Okay.
Gideon, can
ju-
you give this to Rian?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. Off screen Gideon.
Okay. Also, he's gonna reach out and pay and request for various materials. You already know what those are. We'll get to that later.
Yep.
And he will also off-screen create 10 Seeker Stones.
Hmm.
And we'll go
Okay.
over that later.
All right. So, off screen, there is. I have two other things. No, yes. Let me message you this because I don't know if these are secret. These are also on my off-screen notes
Okay.
for Gideon,
Yes. Okay.
but I don't
yes,
know
thank
if
you.
those are
That's-
secret or not. I think one of those is.
The first one is.
Okay.
I will say Gideon and Gak are working on something.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at that because that might become slightly on screen. It kind of depends on just how time goes.
Okay.
But for now, they're working on something. And then, yes, the second one, yeah, Gideon will work on Yursa's request that she asked of him.
Oh, and this is totally, I did not message you about this, Kayla. I'll just message you now.
Okay.
And yeah, I just, there's a lot of stuff.
No, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's Gideon's off screen at the keep.
Yeah.
Cool. Gak, off screen. What is Gak doing at the keep?
So off screen, he is
I'm gonna send people messages of all the things I have written down.
yeah,
So-
I have a thing written down, but the thing is, yeah. So Gak and Gideon are working on a project.
Ah.
But like part of that might be role played. There's another thing he's gonna do. Part of that might be role played. All this stuff it might be role played. But one of the things he's doing is he's going out and shopping and he's buying something. John, how much money do I need to spend on that thing?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's go ahead and mark off.
Yeah.
Fuck. 500.
Private shopping. 500 gold. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's 50 platinum. All right. Boom. Okay, Gak has bought that thing.
Okay. So
there's not much else.
Okay, so as everyone is in the keep, kind of doing their own thing, maybe some of you are sweeping up things. Most of you are in the Great Hall area, the central area, kind of trying to fix things up. I would assume at this point you've already purchased or paid for carpenters and stoneworkers and everything at Shredina. They are making their way up there and starting to work on stuff and repurpose things and fix things. It's been about 2 days since you've seen Gak last. And then all of a sudden, like Aragon coming through the doors in rain.
Yes.
The doors open, except as they open, it is raining because why not? You hear the pitter pattering this on metal, and you see Gak walking in. Gak, what does the party see Gak walking in with?
Gak lifts up the visor on his full suit of armor, and he is very slowly walking into the keep.
Hey guys.
What you doing, Gak?
Look what I bought.
I see.
I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah.
And he like slowly walks over to a chair.
Gak, as you go to sit down,
Oh
yeah,
my-
your legs don't really bend well, so your legs are just kind of propped up on a chair.
We're miles away from civilization. Where the hell did you walk from?
Shredina? Was that?
You walked all the way from Shredina?
In the rain, in metal.
That's what you're concerned about?
Well, yeah, the rain makes it more.
I
stiff,
camped out.
right?
I mean, at least with the armor, he's protected, but
Mhm.
Are you a little sweaty?
I am very sweaty and I'm very tired. This is heavy.
Gak, you go to take off the armor, and it doesn't come off as easy because you've been walking and wearing this armor for 2 days. Your body's swelled a little bit. So
Can people please help me?
Yes.
yes, yeah.
I wanted to be the first one to get one, and I know a good place, so when you guys want to get yours, I'll
Gak,
be able to
did,
refer you.
Wait,
did you buy a suit of armor because you thought you had to be considered a knight?
We're nice.
and
Yeah.
and
Well, Gak,
I mean,
not every knight
yes.
has to wear armor. Knights come in all shapes and sizes and wear lots of different things.
I don't know if that's true, yours.
Gak, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but and Rian will knock on his mithril plate armor that is all over his body, and he'll pull the helm out of his bag that belonged to fucking Lazarus, and he'll like put it on and lift up the visor.
Hey,
I already had a suit of armor.
that's fine.
You could have just
That's
borrowed.
not knight armor, though. I don't think. That was before.
Oh, you know what? That's a really good point. I didn't think of that. And Rian will take the helm off. Put it back.
Somewhere on this armor, I had them write Knight Gak on it, but I don't know where it is.
Well, it looks really good on you.
They
Thank
left
you.
the K off of knight.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna wear this often, but I
Maybe we
have
could
them.
just have it like a decoration in your room.
Yeah,
Or in this hallway, maybe
we can
all
line
the
all of
knights.
ours up.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. It was heavy. You know, I'm just realizing I have a bag that I could probably have put this in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask about that.
So we should get a teleportation circle in here.
So with that, we cut away. It is probably the day before when everyone travels to Shredina. Enid, off screen, what are you doing?
All right. Enid is buying boots of haste, and then she's gonna, I think.
The second item would probably just be buy it too.
Well, because I was talking with, I wasn't talking with Gideon. I was talking with Ryan. I don't know. My brain is I was talking
Same
with Ryan. And I was thinking she would buy the cloak of displacement, but then ask if Gideon can make it into like a belt or a sash of displacement. So it just kind of is around her waist instead of a flowing thing. It's for the aesthetic entirely.
Okay.
If you're cool with that.
Yeah, it'll cost a little bit extra gold to do so. If you're okay with that.
I am.
Okay. So what exactly are you just making it into a belt then?
Yeah.
Awesome. So Gideon, you can help with that. They would be relatively easy to do before you start on the big project. So the boots of haste will run you 7,000 gold. You can add that to your inventory. And the cloak of displacement, which you can put a little note on there, belt of displacement, or change the name, will run you, let's say 6,500 gold, so 1,000 extra gold to put that as a belt.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okie dokie. I'll mark those off. That's Enid's off screen. Rian at the keep. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think the only thing he's doing at the keep off screen is everybody else is kind of they've been busy doing things, helping pick up things on the exterior of the keep, but Rian is going to go to one of the higher up rooms, something hopefully with a window outlooking the water. And he's going to pick out his room, and he's going to start to clean it out himself as opposed to having a contractor do that. But he's going to start sort of broken down everything, dragging it out, throwing it out, just having a day of cleaning. He'll tell somebody what to put in there to decorate, but he wants to clean the room out himself and kind of lay claim to it. But I think that's the only off-screen thing he's doing in the fort.
Cool. Yeah, so as you're kind of cleaning your room and doing all that, one of the stone workers come up and see you, and you let them know that you've got it handled. So you are left to your device for a day and a half cleaning, just waiting for everyone. I'll take everyone to the countryside. Thank you, Rian. Thank you, Joe. Rian, Jesus.
Cute.
Did you create a little farm?
Cute.
Did you create a little plant farm down here? I did not notice that little farm.
Yeah,
thing.
I figured it'd be something Ursa would do. Little buds from Lunaria, kind of plant them there, have a little grove. I threw some shit in there. There's wheat in there too, and it's a whole bunch of green flowers.
Oh yeah.
Cute.
Okay. So I will say, Basil, what are you doing off screen at the keep?
So Basil will be doing a couple of things. She is going to teach how to gack.
That's a lesson only Basil can teach.
Clip that. Clip it.
All right, everyone, welcome to GAC 101. First things first, forget everything.
Okay. Jesus Christ, I don't know what happened. Basil's going to teach Gak how to count. Just starting slow. We're not going to go up to 100. We're going to start 1 to 10 first, and then keep building.
The total will be how many numbers you learn. You learned 10.
Oh yeah.
I know all 10 of the numbers.
Yes, good job, Gak.
That's every single number you need to know. Now you just got to put them in different
I know
places.
all of the numbers.
That's perfect.
I know which one is which. Do I know what order they go in?
I will say Gak knows 1 to 10 in that order. He knows the order of 1 to 10.
Cool.
After that, once you start putting 1 and 1 next to each other,
2,
1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4,
2 0.
2 0, 2 1.
Okay.
Wait, it'd be 10 1, 10 2, 10 3, 10 4.
So
no, Gak, that's not right. It's 11, 12. That doesn't make any sense.
Stop.
Okay. Bye. What happened?
Hit the wrong button.
No, the overall.
Next question.
Alright. your off screens as well to keep.
So besides that, Basil's just gonna be out wandering, digging up and searching for just bones. Just random bones and carcasses. And she's just gonna carry them back into the house, into her bedroom. Just think of like
a dog.
Just think like the old witch in the woods that people are scared of, but they go to for things that they can't ask regular doctors for the fear of being killed. So she has a lot of herbs in the room, constantly like making different like those little jars that like this is supposed to be for luck or whatever it is, and she's just setting up the little carcasses and bones on like shelves, making her own little planting nook within her bedroom. But besides that, she's also, I know I kind of spoke on camera kind of, but mostly off camera, how Basil's going to try to make an argument for the gods to let her live with her mother. They probably don't know the Raven Queen has a daughter. They would probably be angry that said daughter keeps getting reincarnated and talking to her mom. So Basil will most likely talk with maybe as the group, or she might talk to Rian or Gideon about it, just saying like, well, I was kind of thinking that, but what happens if this happens? And she's gonna get talked out of it ultimately. So that is pretty much everything that's related to the keep off screen.
Okay. So I'll say, I mean, that conversation can probably happen between both Rian and Gideon, probably getting different opinions or different,
Yeah.
What is it called? I don't know. Different angles on this situation. Basically,
Yeah.
Basil coming to the two of you, asking, like, telling you she wants to talk to the gods to let her talk to the Raven Queen more and be with the Raven Queen. To which the two of you would talk her out of, like, that's probably not a good idea. If you probably shouldn't do that. So that is just a small conversation that does happen. Okay, let me jot some stuff down. Okay. And last but not least, for off-screen, Yrsa.
Yeah, man. So off-screen, I think Yrsa would probably work with Basil to like create like an outside, like a really big garden outside, so that way they can like. We'll grow our own fucking food, guys. We're growing our own fruit. We're growing our own vegetables. It's gonna be great.
I'm excited.
Right? So we're gonna have that. And then also like kind of going off of something Basil has going on in her room, like medicinal stuff out there. That sounds weird. But like medicine. Not just weed, but like medicine and other stuff. So like we'll work on the garden. And then also like making like a little animal sanctuary outside too. So like, like llamas and sheep and other animals that need a home. Like the room of requirement type of vibe.
Yep.
But outside. And then also she wanted to send, I don't know, get some information on Vandarin and what's going on with the riff that he was investigating.
Okay. I will say, does Yrsa know how to cast sending? The things she can do?
Yes.
Okay. So
hold on. So I just want to double check that I do know sending.
Okay.
I feel like I should, right?
I think you do. Because druids can learn that as a spell, right? I thought so.
No.
What?
I could have sworn that she had it at one point.
Do you have it through the staff?
I don't have it through the staff.
Okay. Well, you'd be able to implore the help of Gak and or Basil. And I would say with probably some sendings to those nearby. Probably, you guys briefly met the captain of the guard within Riftfolk.
Mhm.
You could also send to Shen, the other Rift Warden that is up there. You know, he still exists, unfortunately.
Damn.
The information you would gather from this is Vandarin is no longer at the Rift. However, they have built a base and constructed some sort of machinery arcane device that is forcing the Rift to stay open, but not
Ew.
become unstable.
Oh, not you. Okay. Interesting.
But it seems like they are siphoning magic from
out
it.
of it. Got it. Yep.
And all right, that's with that one. But yeah, nothing from Vandarin.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I was just writing that down. Okay, and then the last thing is just kind of spending time in Tradina at the temple of Malor. Grow closer to her. And for the people there. Whatever that may entail, like, healing people, tending flowers and all that jazz, but she wants to work in the temple as much as possible. I know that's not really keep related, but it's off screen.
No, that's totally fine. Which actually leads us into a couple of things. During this downtime, there have been certain trips to Shredina to, again, talk to mason workers and carpenters and all of that, as well as do other things. Yersa working in the Temple of Melora. I would say during this time as well, Gideon, you would have taken your leave to travel to where you are going, which is, I believe, Eldon.
Mm-hmm.
So, first off, we will start back at the top, just going in order as some of the party members head to Shredina. Gideon, if you were to bring the port glass with you, you could accomplish this in the same day. So you would teleport to Eldon and get an audience with the council and queen. Let's see, where is it at? I had it somewhere. Oh, I guess not, dude. That's crazy. No. Okay. So. As you are led into the throne room of the Emerald Castle in the capital of Isvaria, Eldon, the council members are in front of you, the queen as well. As they announce everybody and you take your bow, they sit. The queen looks to you, Gideon, and says, "To what do we have the pleasure?"
Forgive us for not going over this last time. We had other matters to attend to. Now that things have settled, I felt it was only right to inform you of what else was going on. And we've all been here, so I mean we can just give everyone a summary. I'm just going to ask the party, is there anything specifically about like what we're trying to do that we'd want left out to the queen?
I mean, if we're talking about Riths specifically, I don't want to speak for Kayla, but at least this is kind of where Rian would be, is he wouldn't want any specifics about Lunaria mentioned, just like we have a Rift Warden with us who will help us close these things. But at least I don't want to... Last time a government found out about Lunaria, Yersa ended up in a box for a while, so...
Damn. I mean, yeah. So yeah, I
Not
agree.
wrong.
Not wrong. Yeah. So just not mentioning like the specifics of the location of Lunaria. Probably not even mentioning the name if possible. But other than that, I think we're okay.
Yeah, I think anything else is fine.
Anyone else before we just no?
No, I think they pretty much said it all. They need to know enough just to be aware of the possible danger. As long as we don't name names, I think we'll be good.
Gideon will mention the Demigorgon. He will not mention Sayori, just because that's kind of a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So I think those are basically we'll tell them pretty much everything except for those two details, like Lunaria as a whole, and then Sayori and what she's doing. But otherwise, Gideon will tell them everything that's happened and how they ended up getting very sidetracked for important reasons. But now we're focusing back on that.
Okay. As you are relaying all this information, the council, the queen looks surprised. Orion, out of all of them, looks the least surprised. Maybe because he's the master of Arcana, maybe because he essentially may be the oldest among all of them. He probably knows a little bit more information than they do. But the queen would say, well, we appreciate you coming forward with this information, and it is very ideal. Is there anything you need from us?
Need, probably not. The only thing I would ask is if you hear anything that you think might even be a hint as to what I've spoken about, I would appreciate any information you hear. I understand that things are uneasy. Politics always are. But this is a threat to the entire plane. And should
Ryan.
it get out of hand... Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Should it get out of hand, everyone will be paying the price for it.
Orion will speak up and say, well, I thought that rift that opened, tear, about 15 years ago was not associated, but I guess it was. And as he says that, you kind of make the connection. There was a tear that happened behind Hillgrove, which is why there are all those demonic, twisted creatures of the wildlife around.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a adventuring party that kind of closed that. It wasn't a rift; it was a small tear. But Orion says, if we could help in any way, I will send mages around the areas of Isvaria, at least in our jurisdiction. See if we can find any more tears before they become full-blown rifts.
That is a good start, thank you. Should you hear anything outside, again, would also just appreciate a word.
Of course. We have good communications with Dagram. However, Valamine is something we won't be able to gain information on.
I understand.
And the conversation continues, and then I believe you have something that you give to them.
Yeah, do they have like a servant or someone? Because I assume I can't just walk up to the queen and hand her something.
Yeah, there would be someone nearby.
But yeah, Gideon will pull out one of the seeker stones and hand it to the servant.
Okay, so as you hand it to the servant, he brings it up to them. Now, if you would like to describe what the seeker stones do.
Yeah, so I'm just going to describe it in layman's terms here, but Gideon made a phone. He basically connected a bunch of sending stones to one receiver, which will be in possession of the seekers, and it will allow us to be in connection with a large group of our allies, which is why I asked you guys about who we want to stay in contact with. So along with... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So along with this one, I assume that based on kind of where you guys are going, Gideon would have divvied up a few and being like, let's hand one to this person, let's get one here, you'll be near there. So, and anyone else will just send a We'll send him a package with it inside with instructions.
That's cool.
So yeah.
Cell phone.
We'll hire a little boy in a city somewhere and say, go to a place you've never been before and deliver this to somebody you don't know.
No consequences.
Yeah.
What a callback.
I mean, listen, he made it.
Yeah.
It's a coincidence we never saw from him again.
He at least made it there. He at least made it there.
He made it there. We'll see if he made it back.
I could. What's funny is I could do sending on him.
But Basil doesn't want to know, does she?
I mean, as
She's
Rachel.
a little scared.
Hey, just wanted to let you know that I now have a spell that can do the thing that I tasked you to do.
So,
Hope you're alive. Bye.
the council of
Bye.
Eastvaria gets a Seeker's Stone, a one-way network. I described it as a bat phone. You guys can only receive calls, not make them, from the people who have the other stones. So, Gideon, is there anything else in Ilden you want to accomplish before you head back to the keep?
We talked about potentially running into someone here if you still wanted to do that.
Ah, yes. So, does Gideon, after this, does he travel? Does he go to one of the? Well, there's only 3 bars around here.
Oh, he'd go to the nice one. You already know that.
Yeah, the Sapphire Chalice.
Sapphire Chalice. He would not
So-
ask to use the private room.
I would say that as okay, hold on. As you travel from the Emerald Castle into the Sapphire Chalice, Merithil does come over to you and say, "Hello, where's the rest of your party?"
It's just me today. We're separating to get some business done before we get back to work. A little bit of a vacation after everything that happened.
Ah, my little birds did not see you for the past couple of days until you just ended up in Shredina. Where were you?
I mean, John, he's referring to like our assault on like Blackmore Isle, or is he talking about us being
No,
at the keep?
He's talking about the Mind Flayer stuff. You guys
that.
disappeared from the map.
Oh, that's a complicated story for another time, perhaps.
Another time. Of course. I understand. You don't need the rune, do you?
No.
All right, just checking.
I'm here purely on pleasure, no business today.
Really? Well, there's a new drink. You should try it. I don't have a name for it yet. It's just very good. Fruity, little bubbly.
I'll take it.
Well, and he pats you on the shoulder. Just good seeing you again. I'm sure we'll
Likewise.
catch up at some point. And as he walks away, you make your way to get your drink, and you notice someone that you have not seen since the beginning of this campaign. A individual that last time you saw was armored, with the Valamine guard attire. Someone very close to you and a close friend. At the wall, you see Romulus, this human male with short brown hair. He has a goatee into a stubbled beard. Looks to be in his mid-40s. He is not wearing armor. He does what looks like a Zweihander sword, kind of just resting up against the table, sheathed. And he looks like he's wearing like Isvarian clothes. He's just something new that he's probably bought recently, but he just sits at the table drinking his tankard.
He's on his own, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gideon's gonna go stand across from him for just a moment. Seat taken.
No, it's not.
Did he not even look up?
No, he didn't. He's just drinking.
Gideon will sit down. Are you here on vacation or assignment?
I know that voice. And he looks up and sees you. There's not immediate recognition.
Fair enough.
He sits back. So, you sound like someone I remember.
Did you ever get the locks on those cells fixed?
What the fuck happened to you?
That is a very long story. It's good to see you, though.
Likewise. Probably
What are you
wondering why I'm
doing
here. See, knew you were going to ask. This is going to sound awkward. You left, chasing your dreams. I then, relatively soon after, left, attempting to chase my dreams. I'd given you a lot of my own gold, so I actually didn't have much left to travel.
Does he look like okay, or is he like pretty down in the dumps?
He looks kind of a little bit down in the dumps.
I take it dream chasing is not suiting you yet?
You know, my dream was I always wanted to see Siri. I got here and ran out of coin. So I've been here maybe a week at best.
Odd jobs to eat, I assume?
Yeah. And at this point you can like kind of smell the fishy smell from his armor or from his clothing. And he's like, the port doesn't pay very well. But I'm saving up. Merithil has been generous.
That's good, he's a friend.
Of course he is. What are you here for?
Well, let's make things right first, and Gideon will pull out his bag and he'll set 100 platinum right in front of Romulus. That's yours.
He picks up one and like chews on it. Holy shit, it's real.
Oh, please. You knew it was. Don't insult me.
What'd you do to get it? Who did you kill? I'm joking. I know you wouldn't do that.
Well,
Or did you?
kind of. Just for a good reason.
To you or to other people?
Oh, very much to other people, and also to me.
Alright.
It was quite personal for me, actually. But we can talk about that later when there's less wandering ears.
Right.
The port might not pay well, but if you're looking for a place better than this and better pay, I think I know of a place that could use your talents.
Really? Where?
Have you heard of the Seekers of Insomnia?
Name sounds roughly familiar. I've heard Seekers. Why?
Well, they're the adventuring party that I work with.
Really?
Yes. We've been doing quite a bit of work, and we have been rewarded with our own keep within the past month.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
I'd
you.
buy you a drink, but actually, and he pulls the coins forward. I'm gonna keep this, and
Don't worry about it. Looking over to Mirathol, Gideon will just hold up 2 fingers for 2 of whatever the drink Mirathol was talking about.
Marathon looks at you and points towards the bar tender.
Oh, sorry, the bartender is what I meant. Sorry, I had Mirathol in mind.
Marathon's like,
sorry, that's my bad.
talk to them.
Yeah.
I just make the money.
Yeah, you're right. He's just the owner. But yeah, 2, and Gideon will. How much will Gideon owe for that?
2 gold.
2 gold. Cool.
I will say, as the conversation goes on, I would assume you and Romulus have a very in-depth, long conversation about things you've gotten up to and what he has gotten up to. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, 100%. Gideon very much trusts Romulus, because Romulus was like one of the first people that really cut him a break after he kind of hit the real world.
So Romulus would tell you that he traveled from the wall itself, which was near. You would hear the information about that rift, which was near that rift. That he traveled from Artis, got across the border into Hillgrove, traveled through the desolate town of Dasto to Ladoon, and then eventually got here to Aelden. He's made this trip over the past month or so, with little to no rest in between. Like, he's rested, he would tell you, but it's been a get to where I'm going kind of thing, not too much.
Grinding.
Yeah. And eventually, over time, with these talks, with a couple more drinks, you both catch up, and Romulus says to you, "So just let me get this straight. You want to employ me?"
Yes.
The world is weird. But I accept, of course. I mean, if you have this much gold.
Perhaps it's balance.
Maybe. Of course.
You gave me a job once.
Only fair that you give me one.
No contract. You'll be paid for however long you want to stay. When you want to leave, you may go.
That is fair. Well, I can gather my things and we can head back, and on our way, we do have a couple days of travel.
Well, no. Not exactly.
But you can fly now.
No, I can do that too. We can also teleport.
Holy shit.
Which would you rather do?
I haven't done both. So, which one's more fun?
Well, do you want to be able to tell your friends you flew on the back of a dragon? Or you teleported?
The dragon, for sure.
Excellent choice.
So, as you gather your things and head out, he also says, during this conversation, did you tell him you died and came back and that's why you have the eyes?
Yeah, that's why he looks different now. Because
Okay.
I imagine Romulus saw him pre-mask as well.
Yeah. Either if you had told him that during that conversation, he would have said, you need to tell me on our way there. So either way, he would have pressed you for like why your eyes are galaxies and why you have elf ears now.
Yeah, and Gideon would pretty much tell him everything about himself, yeah.
Awesome. So with that, Romulus, captain of the wall, old friend of Gideon, now employed to help protect the keep. We head back to Tredina.
A funky cold Tredina.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's a little niche, but I like it.
Yeah. So, while Gideon was in Aelden, I know that Basil is taking a trip to Tredina for one of your on-screen things. Was there anybody else who's going to... I know Yurs is going to Tredina to go to Melora's temple. Is there anything that anybody wants to do physically roleplay there at Tredina? Other than stuff with Basil?
In a much different setting, yes. But it's not like shopping or errands. It's like nightlife. So.
Okay. I got you.
So it might not be this time, but yeah.
Okay. I will say there is another place you can have that on the way to Lunaria.
We can do it wherever. Whatever your plans are, I don't care.
Well, I'm just facilitating the story, so you tell me wherever you want to go.
Not have preference.
Cool. So, we will cut over to Basil. Basil, you are in Shredina. You can see that the market is alive. The docks are alive. You walk into town. There is one or two of the guards that see you come through. You've been here multiple days in a row to acquire those people for your keep. They just kind of say hi to you as you come through. To all of you, you are now recognized, at least slightly, within Shredina by the guards for the gate that you use constantly. The people at the tavern of the Silver Stallion, that's what it is. But Basil, there was information that you recently learned about Shredina. They have a temple to the Raven Queen.
They do. Basil's gonna go there.
Awesome. So, as you travel through, you travel to this area known as Grey Cliff. Within Grey Cliff, there is a large cemetery for those that, for sailors that have passed away, great workers throughout the generations. There is also the temple that you heard about. You see a large obsidian Gothic-styled building. There's not much depicting it as a temple of the Raven Queen, which is probably why you missed it last time. But you get to the double doors of this cathedral-like building. And I assume you will be entering.
I do.
Okay. So, as you enter into this Temple of the Raven Queen, you see the tall 30-foot ceiling that goes to a very, very sharp point at the top. You see these columns that lead up. The interior here is dark. Everything around you is blacks and grays, slight golds, but you see thousands of candles just kind of strewn throughout the entirety of this cathedral, on steps, on the ground, up on statues of people. But you don't see anybody really in here. None of the clergy and no worshippers. But you do see something that looks like this.
Ooh, suspicious.
What do you do?
I guess she's just gonna walk in, like hesitantly,
Okay.
respectfully.
Okay. So, as you walk in, you can hear your footsteps echoing through the halls. You kind of seem lost within this cathedral. As you're walking through, you do hear the fluttering of wings as you look above and see what looks to be 3 or 4 ravens from the top just kind of fly across and then perch up to another area.
Hello?
There's no response, but you hear your voice echo.
Mom, your house isn't really inviting. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Is there like any kind of altar or maybe a spot that looks like might have recently been messed with?
It looks like there's not an altar. There are benches throughout the walls, and there are many raven feathers kind of scattered across the ground amongst all of these lights and candles. Make a religion check.
Also, Basil's gonna pick up some of the feathers and put them in her pocket. Ugh. Not amazing.
Okay. I'll say that you stand here trying to figure out if anybody is here. Trying to figure out what the purpose of this temple is. It's not, there's no one here. There's no one worshiping. Why is this here? Eventually, as you are kind of picking up some of the raven feathers, you don't hear their footsteps. But from behind you, you hear, hello.
Hi.
You get a tap on your shoulder.
She whips around.
What you see behind you is an individual cloaked in blacks. The cape that they wear is raven feathers that go over the pauldrons into... It doesn't even look like they have arms and legs. Their arms and legs are just inside of this draping cloth. But on their face is a polished white porcelain mask. Doesn't show any facial features. You can barely see the eyes through the mask, and you can see raven feathers that kind of are stitched or tied into the hood of what they wear. You see someone who looks like this.
Ooh.
How may we help?
I guess it's safing to assume that you're a follower of the Raven Queen.
Yes.
So I did have other things I wanted to talk about, but I also want to ask a completely new question. How do I get an outfit like that?
You hear no laughter.
He's
You
not
see
even
this-
joking, though. She's being honest.
I know, but the individual just kind of looks at you. What is your other question?
Well, my other question is, I would like to ask if I could have some sort of... I guess it's silly to say, a kind of training, maybe? I have a deep connection to the Raven Queen, and I want to live up to this connection that I have with her. And in order to do that, I feel that I need to become more confident as a cleric, not just with the usual abilities of a cleric when it comes to healing and all of that, but with things that specifically relate to life and death. I can see spirits. I can talk to them. I can help them move into the afterlife. I help them not feel as lost. And I can bring people back to life. But I feel that I can do so much more, and I could be so much more useful. And I don't want to feel like I'm somewhat of a when it comes to these special circumstances that I have with her. If that makes sense.
The matron of ravens is meant to protect the cycle of life and death in its natural
Yes.
state.
Yes.
Do you wish to prevent such a cycle with these abilities?
I feel that it's so much more than black and white. I feel that fate with life I've never believed that with a fatal wound doesn't always mean that you have to die, or that if you die it doesn't always mean that it's your time. So I want to find a balance, but I feel that maybe not everybody would agree with me, but I don't think it's wrong.
And why do you follow our God?
I've always had this ability to see spirits, and growing up I never knew why. I always thought that maybe I was just weird or haunted or gods hate me. But it just happened. I didn't necessarily choose her. I never really even knew about her. It was very sudden. I was a child and I had gotten into a really rough patch with some older men, and if I'm being honest, I wasn't going to make it out alive in that situation, and all of a sudden she was there and she saved me, and ever since then I have followed her. I wasn't a believer of the gods before her.
And are you now?
I am.
We do not know why the matron selects us. All we know, we must preserve what she has set forth. If you want to learn more about how to protect that cycle, I can teach you.
Really?
But you must be worth it.
Worthy? I like to think I'm worthy. How do you know if you're worthy? How does one know if they're worthy of something?
Please follow me.
Okay.
And she just walks into what looks like just darkness.
Lovely. Does Basil get the vibe? I mean, she probably won't, but like, does she get the vibe that... Does this woman or being have like a sense about Basil that like she might not be like other Raven Queen followers?
I would say it's hard to tell. One, you haven't seen many temples of the Raven Queen regardless. This temple, you could tell that these clerics probably follow the commandments of the Raven Queen to like a T. Like, you know the Raven Queen. So you get this idea of like, oh, these people know the idea of the Raven Queen. They're a little bit like the Mandalorian, you know, the ones that don't take their masks off as opposed to the ones that do, and they're like, this is the way. Those are these people. So it's hard to tell if she can see that you're special in that way. She is wearing a mask, so she has no facial expressions at all.
You're right. Got to fuck shit up with the system.
Do you follow?
I do.
Okay. As you follow into this large chamber room, and you see a statue of the Raven Queen, with both hands cupped, and from her hands is this red liquid that is dripping down into this small pool below her. Also, the statue is... You've seen the Raven Queen. It's not... It's okay. Yeah.
Lovely decor. What is it that's dripping down? Is it blood?
Drink.
You know, my first time in a Raven Queen temple, I nearly drowned myself in order to get closer to her. And now I'm going to drink this liquid that I don't know anything about. She's just gonna walk forward and, I guess, cup however much she needs, and then drinks it.
Okay. As you drink it, it definitely tastes like iron. And as you do that, you see your eyes kind of just, well, you watch all of your vision just kind of go red. Everything is tinted red. But then eventually that redness goes away. And everything starts to look a little bit blurry and then come into focus. You see behind her, this cleric, you see multiple spirits that look almost exactly the same. You then see these faint golden lines that look like they are cut from each one of the spirits, and one is wrapping around the cleric. As this happens, you kind of gasp, and you've seen these golden lines before in your dreams, these lines of destiny and fate. The ravens inside of this temple congregate to you, Basil, and just kind of perch up in the area. And the cleric looks to you and goes, "You see them already, don't you?"
I've seen this before. I've seen the gold lines before.
The strings of destiny.
Yes.
You see the cleric looks around to all the ravens. You are not like the others.
I'm just me.
You are worthy. I will teach you.
I didn't do anything. I thought there was going to be a trial or something.
This was the trial.
Oh.
You didn't die.
What?
So, Basil, for the next, I would say, you don't have to stay here. You can leave and come back. But for the next 2 or 3 days, depending on when you guys leave for your trip to Lunaria, this cleric teaches you. You never get their name. They attempt to teach you when to use your healing magic and when not to. I will say you also gain an ability that allows you to see these strings of fate, and allows you that when someone is on death's door, she kind of shows it to you with there are people that come through that are on death's door that are dying from maybe old age, or have died, that it's kind of like a divine sense thing, and I'll create something for you. You're able to see whether or not their threads are still intact or cut. To these people, that means whether or not you should heal or let the cycle of life and death continue.
Do you think during this time, Basil could also have given her insight to things? Like talking with this woman and everything, you know, Basil could be like, I don't think there's just a one right and wrong way. Like, fate can always change, you know, with us and our abilities, you know, not necessarily trying to convince them of anything, but, you know, her being like, oh, during my journey and with my relationship with the Raven Queen and the things I've experienced, here's what I've gathered, you know.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh no. It was so close to 14.
So the words you say don't fall on deaf ears. However, like I said again, these people seem to be pretty set in their ways of how they follow the Raven Queen, which gives you a perspective on how the worship of your mom is throughout the world. But over the next 2 days, like I said, you're able to, one, connect with the spirits more, and two, see these threads of destiny, of fate, and whether or not someone should die or someone should be healed. And maybe that'll come up in the game sometime.
Man. So is it something like I like roll a religion or something in order to see that?
Yeah, we'll come up with the mechanics.
Okay.
But probably something like that, where, like, say, I don't know, say one of the party members is on death's door, like they're about to die, and you roll this and you see the thread is gone, or the thread is still there, and if you should heal them or not.
You're like, bitch, just kidding. I have a diamond.
But over these next couple days, you are able to connect more with the Raven Queen in this weird way. I'll say that your rolls for seeing spirits will be easier.
Oh, yay.
You don't gain any abilities for healing because you are a very good healer at this point anyways. So you just become more confident.
Sick. And she'll probably, like, on her walks home and all of that stuff, she'll be like, and then they said this, and, like, that's totally not right. You know? Like, why are they so uptight, you know?
It's Basil has this over the temple of Raven Queen of like, ugh, you guys got it wrong. I've seen God. That's not what they look like.
I'm tight with God, and she would say that you all need to loosen up a bit. Okay,
awesome.
Cool. That's cool. I know we mentioned this. I don't know if she would learn with these clerics or not. And I don't remember if you said that this was a for sure thing or something I could even do. Would Basil be able to learn how to make her own healing potions?
I would say that process wouldn't come from clerics.
Okay.
You would have to talk to a potion maker.
Okay.
You know one in Ailden, Tanya.
I do know Tanya.
Learning a skill like that, however, is a long process. So you could start the process with Tanya, but at the end of a month you wouldn't be able to, because you're not dedicating your time solely to that new thing, because creating potions is a pretty big deal.
I'll just buy them. That's fine.
Okay. you can still do that if you want to take the time to do that over the course of maybe a couple months in the campaign. But that is an option.
We can do the couple months thing.
Okay.
You know, spread it out.
Awesome.
Good is cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Is there anybody
Thank
else
you.
who traveled to Shredina and had something to do there? Okay. So, with that, there is a couple other things that I know some of you wanted to do while at the keep before traveling to Lunaria and to Hammerfort and all those places. Let's go with
Gak there. And she'll just say, "You having trouble tonight too?"
I'm really hungry.
"Oh, what do you want?"
I don't think we have anything. There's like nothing here.
Well, you'd be surprised what you can make with only a few ingredients. So she'll like open up the cupboards and everything.
And they're
said
full.
Yeah, she's like, actually, she'll say, "Would you be in the mood for some sweets?"
I don't know. I might not eat anything.
No. I'm gonna start baking. So she's gonna start whipping up some brownie batter, get some warm milk and honey for Gak, give him a glass. This might help your head a little bit. It used to help me. It doesn't help me much anymore.
Well, thank you. I can help you bake too. I used to bake with my mom.
That would be great. And as they split up the work, she'll say, "This might seem a little out of the blue, but I've been meaning to ask you. So you used to bake with your mom back in Siri, and I didn't know if you maybe had a little bit more you could tell me about, Siri and growing up there, and what your family life was like, and
Sure,
stuff."
yeah. I guess I have told a lot of everybody else. I don't know. So I didn't see I still haven't seen a lot of Siri. My family and I live in a little cabin that's next to a pond that's in the middle of woods, and no one ever goes there. So most of my life it was just me and my dad and my mom and my sister, and then every once in a while we'd go, and it'd be a long time, but we would go somewhere and go for like a day trip. But we did that maybe like 2 times or something like that. But what were you gonna say?
Oh no, just if you remembered maybe where you traveled to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both times it was the place that I went after I left. Is that right, John?
Yeah, dude.
say that last part one more time.
Is that right, John?
No, the one part before that.
Okay, it was when Gak left
Yeah.
Siri, he went to Janu, and I'm pretty sure that every time Gak's family would go into a city, that's where they would go, and it only happened
Janu.
twice throughout his life.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless every place in Siri looks the same. Janu is the place that we went, and that's also where I went before I went on this adventure.
Okay. Did you guys have any, I don't know, like traditional like holidays or anything that you celebrated? Did you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have a sister. My sister's Brack.
And did you have any like holidays and
Oh.
things?
Just the normal ones like Schlumpy and Grungle and and my birthday.
What'd you do for those? Anything, or what made each one unique?
There wasn't much.
Hmm.
I think I made the two up, but my family always celebrated them.
Okay. Had nothing to do with like, so birthday, would you guys get gifts and things?
Yeah, like my mom would pick out like a real cool flower.
Oh.
My dad would like make a little doll. Like normal gifts.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. And unlike Schlumpy and Grungle, we would just make good food, like have a good dinner.
Yeah. Do you
I don't
miss
know.
them?
I do. I miss them a lot. I talk to my mom every once in a while. I cast sending to her, so we can talk a little bit. I haven't cast sending on my dad. I don't know if my dad would. I think he'd be confused why I was in his head. Even if mom explained it to him, I don't think he'd understand.
Well, at least your mom can tell him whatever you say.
Yeah. She does. She's always worried. She always thinks that we're gonna get in trouble, and we do for sure. And I don't tell her that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I miss him. I think that when we eventually take this book over to Siri to do whatever the book wants me to do, I don't remember anyway. But hopefully we can see my family. I think that'd be pretty cool, and I think that you'd all really like them, and I think my family would like you guys.
I would really love that. That would be very
They're
fun.
funny.
I mean, if they're as funny as you, that would make sense.
They're probably as funny as me. I don't know.
I guess we'll have to see.
Well, what holiday do you celebrate?
Besides, I celebrate two. Just, my birthday
Mm-hmm.
and, a different day when I lost my family.
So it's like I mean, it is sad, but it's not like a sad holiday. It's like a quiet holiday.
You could call it that. Yeah. I had a sibling too.
No.
I didn't get to know him, but do you believe in because you're magical, clearly, but do you believe in energies at all?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, what kind of energy do you believe in?
Oh, I believe it's there. I believe that when you're I don't know, right now I feel stuff. I've never heard anyone else really talk about energies, but energies are things that are around.
Yeah, I don't know any facts about energies, that's for sure. Just like you said, the things around us and the things we feel. You have an energy that reminds me of my little brother. Which doesn't make sense, because you're definitely older than me. And, very backwards, but...
And I'm very tall.
You are. You're not very little.
No, but we're blue,
We are.
so...
I don't know what it is, but I hope I haven't been off-putting to you at all about it.
Not at all.
Okay, good. I don't do well. If you can't tell, I don't do well with making connections. So I don't know what's natural necessarily, or what's too fast, or what's weird to say. But I do remember just feeling a strong energy to help you when you went down at the fight with that vampire. So,
Well, I'm glad you did. And I think that what's natural is whatever you do. I think that's what's natural. I don't know. I'm going to say it. I think that some people might find me a little weird.
really?
Yeah, when I first left home, people, I mean, listen, I can kind of feel people's energy pretty well, I think. And I think that a lot of people were giving me that guy's weird energy. But I don't really care, because that's me. And that's natural.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed anything weird from you, but every person I meet is different. Every single person I've met on this entire adventure has been different, and they give off similar vibes, different vibes, and people, and like when we met Gideon looked different than he does now, and he used to feel like he needed to wear a mask so he could cover up part of his face. And I won't describe it or anything, because you can talk about that with Gideon. I'm sure he'll share it with you. But he said that a lot of people would like be that guy's weird to him also. But I didn't find him weird because he was just a new person. And every new person looks different and all this stuff. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience. I just kind of go off of, I guess that's it. I kind of go off of people's energy, and I just kind of look at them, and I feel like I know what they're feeling, and I feel like I use that energy also with my magic, because I don't know anything. I can't read it. I don't know anything. I just kind of feel it.
You're very insightful. I'm very impressed. I mean, you were even able to read an energy I couldn't read from our, I believe he was a mind flare, people were saying, friend in the Underdark. I didn't know what to think or believe, but you were so quick to figure him out.
Yeah. I don't want you to think I wanted to kill that guy just because I like killing, because I don't like killing.
I don't think that.
Yeah, Dio told me, so Dio was actually in Janu when I left, and he helps me get a boat, and we became pirates, and that's how we came over here. And Dio taught me some rules that helped me be an adventurer. And one of them is, if someone's trying to steal from you, you steal from them first.
Yeah,
I haven't done that much. I haven't stolen from a lot of people. But if someone tries to kill you, kill them first. And that's pretty much what I go by.
He's not wrong. Those are words I live by as well, honestly. And maybe that's because, now keep this a secret, you should look around.
Is it okay if Chip knows? Because Chip's right here in my shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm technically a pirate too. But I haven't been a pirate since I was 8 years old, so.
That's okay. I've only been a pirate for a couple weeks.
Okay.
At one point.
We're both young pirates.
3 weeks as a pirate, and then it's been a month since that.
Yeah. So we can keep that to ourselves then.
Oh, yeah.
Our pirate secret.
Yeah, I'm good at keeping secrets.
At this point, I would like everyone but Felicity to mute me in Discord.
Okay. I'm muted.
I think everybody.
I think so. I can't
Okay.
hear John.
I think it works. Yeah, I think we're good. Nick, you can actually keep talking, but I'm gonna hear Moon from John. And this is gonna be nuts for me. Alright, let's go. Yeah. I don't know. My brain actually stopped. I'm short-circuiting.
That's okay.
That's Felicity. You go, Nick. Say something to bring me back in. I'm out.
Okay, so, when you were pirating, right?
Yes.
What did you do when you were on a boat? Why were you there? You were young.
Yeah, so, I snuck on,
Mm.
and they found me, and then instead of killing me, they put me to work.
That's
So,
good.
yeah, I mean, I'm like half a pirate, more like I was stuck on a pirate ship till we made it to land, and then I snuck away.
Well, I mean, I didn't know until later, but Dio and I also snuck on a boat. We technically stole it. I
Wow.
didn't know. He just needed my help, but I think that's okay because I think it was for good.
No, you're more a pirate than me. Yes?
He said the guy we stole it from was bad.
I didn't really know we were sneaking on a pirate ship either.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I thought you
sorry.
just said you.
Oh, I didn't know it was a pirate ship that I was sneaking. I just snuck on a ship.
Oh,
Yeah,
how'd you find out it was a pirate ship?
they were stealing from other ships, I assumed. They were pretty rude. They were kind of sneaky. I think Moon, did they have a name? Did they go by? They definitely had a captain and a first mate. Man, it's been so long. Oh, what was that crew called?
So Moon is the person you talk to when you're talking. You're not talking to anybody.
Yeah. Moon's pretty frequently talking to me up here.
Hi, Moon.
Moon says hi and knows that you can't hear them.
Okay. How are you today, Moon?
Moon says fine.
That's good. Is Moon also hungry? Can't sleep?
Well, Moon asked how you are.
Oh, I'm good. I'm hungry and I can't sleep.
Yeah, we're almost done with the brownies, actually.
Good.
So I have Moon, and you have Chip?
Yeah, Chip's right here. We can talk to each other.
Oh,
Chip
really?
doesn't say much, though. Yeah,
Oh,
that's okay.
well, Moon talks all the time to me. Keeps me up all night.
Oh.
It's true.
Moon, hey. Moon, is Moon listening?
Moon is listening.
Moon, you should let Enid get some sleep. Because Enid said she was tired.
Don't lie.
I didn't.
Yeah, this is my life. Okay. Thanks for talking with me, Gak, and for helping me make brownies. They turned out, as she pulls them out of our big fireplace oven, they look really good. But
I think so too. Can we have one now, or do we have
absolutely.
To wait on...
No.
Okay.
We're having one now.
Okay. I might have two.
Please do.
Okay.
But I think my brain is feeling, on top of the exhaustion, just very split right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your fault, Moon. I'm not trying to be mean. I know.
You take a second brownie, and eat it for Moon. Moon can have a brownie, and I know chocolate makes me sleepy. So maybe if you eat one and Moon eats one, then you'll both be sleepy.
Moon. I know. I'll eat it for you. Yeah, what? Yes. Hey, Gak,
Yeah,
can I hold your hand?
sure.
Gak's hands are so big.
Nick, you can unmute John. This will be wild.
Oh,
Do you hear?
is
Moon?
that Moon? Did Moon say that? Is this working? Hi, Moon.
We can do this?
This is pretty cool. So, Moon, I have a lot of questions, but Enid's tired, so I'll ask one. I think. That's okay. I mean, Enid said you did, so. Well, I've known Enid for a little bit longer than I've known you, Moon. Well, I don't know. I guess I've
That's
known
on my
you
back,
for.
Moon.
I guess I've known you for a long time, also, Moon. Are you the same? So my question was, are you the same one that's up there that I look at? Oh,
You're not? I've been living in a lie.
so it's like a brother, sister. I think that's why we were all confused. Yeah.
I misunderstood, and now I feel like really dumb.
How long have you been talking to Enid?
Yeah, a long time.
Well, Enid, I said I could read people's energies pretty well, so I just had to talk to Moon for just a little bit to find out some vital information that apparently you didn't know for most of your life.
Yeah. I don't ask a lot of questions sometimes. Yeah, Moon. I didn't. Okay.
That's okay. I guess, like, maybe I asked the questions because, like, when I met Basil, I instantly knew, like, she's not a plant. And I was like, oh, it has the same name as something else, but I know she's not that thing. So I think that's probably why I asked, yeah.
Well, Moon, anything else that I never asked you that apparently I don't know? Okay, cool. We'll make sure Gak's in on the conversation as well. This is so cool. Wait, that's two big things. So you could have talked to people this whole time?
Oh, that's fun. That's pretty cool.
Ian's going through a lot right now.
My mouth is really dry.
we need to drink our warm milk. All right. Good night for you, Gak to Moon, I guess.
Yeah, good night, Moon. I'm gonna write a book about that one day.
Oh my god.
It has a ring to it.
Oh yeah. All right. Brownies.
Brownie time. Moon, eat a brownie.
Bedtime for me.
Yeah, and then do we just hold hands? Is that all we do? To talk to you?
I feel like, if I'm reading the energy right, I am connecting us psionically. So I think I am doing something, but I don't,
But you're not asking questions.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah. No.
That's
I
okay.
don't like answers. Sometimes it's easier just to live in the reality that you're given.
I have noticed that about you. When we first met, I was trying to let you know all the stuff that was going on, and you were like, I'm fine.
Good night, Moon.
Good night, Moon.
Everyone can unmute John.
Well, thank you for the brownies and for the conversation and for talking to the Moon. That was fun.
Thanks for being the first person to meet Moon.
Of
besides
course.
me.
And you know, Enid, you don't remind me of my sister, but you remind me of a sister. You have sister energy, but you're very different from my sister.
Thank you. I hope you like the brownies.
They're delicious. I've had 3. I'm sorry.
Please have more. I'm gonna go to bed. And she's like flustered and leaves.
And Gak sits there and he eats a lot more of the brownies. Not but he eats a lot of them. And then goes to bed.
Okay. Another night. It is Elysius the 30th. The end of the month. So, again, let me read over my notes. Yes, we'll go to here on this day, because Gak is here, so we're gonna do this one. Gak. The next morning, you notice that the stonemasons and the carpenters have finished the interior of your room, ready to be decorated. You finally find a place for your suit of armor. But Gak, what are you doing currently, right now, in your room? It is completely empty. All it is, which, by the way, Gak is on the ground floor. You specifically told the carpenters and the stonemasons to not cover up the ground. It is grass and dirt. They have built a little shack in the corner. The rest of it is completely open, just grass. So what are you doing?
So Gak actually sends a sending to Basil and Yrsa, and they hear,
Hey, it's Gak. Come to my room ASAP.
Okay.
Okay, Gak, coming. Love you. And she goes to Gak's room.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yrsa.
Go to.
Yrsa and Basil, you walk in. This is the first time you're seeing it. Gak, what do they see?
so they see a bed, a chair. In one corner, there's a little piece of cloth that's on the ground that Chip is currently sitting on.
Oh.
And then there actually is not a shack in there yet. But everything else is just empty. And Gak is standing in one of the corners and he's going,
Basil, Yrsa. Basil, Yrsa, come here quick.
Gak, is this your room?
It is, but I have something to show you over here.
Okay.
and Gak's just pointing to the wall, and there's a cool bug on the wall. It has a really cool design on it.
He's like, look.
Does your son know what this bug is, John?
What's the bug, Nick?
I don't know. It has a cool design on it.
It's a bug with cool design.
That is a ladybug.
Sorry, speaking of bugs, I caught one that was on my monitor. I had to throw it out.
Ew.
Yeah, we'll say it's a ladybug.
Okay.
It's a purple ladybug with white spots.
Look at that.
It's beautiful.
Wow, that is so cool, Gak.
Yeah.
I think that
was-
your room needs a little help to make this new friend feel maybe a little more at home.
Oh. No, I think I'm okay. I just wanted to show you guys the bug. Thought you guys would like it.
Gak, you don't have a floor.
Nope, just the grass because have you ever walked in grass without shoes? I know yours has. She doesn't wear shoes.
Looks down barefoot.
I did have my own garden, you know. I do love the feeling of feet on grass.
Yeah, so it just feels better.
Understandable. You just have a bed, though.
There's a chair right there too.
Oh, it's a lovely chair. Don't you want more things to freshen up the room, maybe add color to it?
Well, I can see at least 3 colors now. There's grass, there's stone, and there's bed color. What is the bed blue?
Well, Gak, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what is a place that makes you feel extremely happy all the time? And if you could be at that place all the time, what would that look like?
Well, that's kind of what I tried to do here. I got this place set up just like my room back home, and it's a lot bigger. So there's a lot more space, but yeah, back home, no floor, bed, chair.
So is this exactly how it looks like, or do you want to describe what your whole house looks like, and maybe we can try to replicate it?
Oh, yeah, well, the whole house is smaller than this room, but it's just we have a little cabin. It's made of trees that's right on the edge of a lake, a little pond, and we're surrounded by trees. And inside the house, there's 2 rooms. There's my room and mine and Brack's room, and then my dad and my mom's room, and then there's a main room that has where we sit and where we eat and the kitchen stuff.
Okay. That's a good start. Trees. Guess who can make trees? And Basil will look to Yrsa.
Yrsa raises her hand. I
So-
can make trees.
So
We
you
can
guys,
make. Huh.
we
what?
could put so we could grow trees in the room.
We could.
You already have grass here. It's a good start. And you know what else I could do? I could do a very strong spell right over there and make a giant hole for a lake. But small.
Yes,
So like
very
a
small.
pond.
That we could make it look like not just my room, but like the whole where the house is.
Yes. And I'm really good at designing gardens, so maybe I could plant some seeds in specific ways, and then Yrsa can help them grow.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
That'd
Wait,
be really-
Gak, what if you sit in your lovely chair and then Basil and we just completely make additions to your room exactly how you described it to us?
Sure.
But
That'd
you
be
have to
really
close your
cool.
eyes.
Okay.
And you
And you
just
can't
hear in the background. Singing like Disney.
You're just literally gonna cast erupting earth and make a hole.
Yeah. Everyone in the keep is like, what was that noise?
That's probably Yersa Basil doing some terraforming, I'm sure.
Eventually,
Talking to Gideon, I'm sure. Just like,
yeah.
what can you do? Oh, Gideon walked away. Man.
Right?
Memory isn't what it used to be, I guess.
Rian, while you were downstairs walking into the keep, I'm hand waving this. Gak has sent a message to somebody, and as they walk in, you see a very familiar individual, Clara. She says,
Hi, Clara.
hello. Nice place.
Thank you. The earthquakes aren't part of it. I'm sure they're doing something.
Actually, I think I need to go towards that. Gak sent me a message that he needed my help with something.
Yes, let me take you to Gak's, biome? Just follow me. You'll understand when you see it.
She's looking all around like.
And
wow.
the door to Gak's room, there's currently carpenters bringing in wood, like walking into the place.
So it's a bit of a construction zone right now, but you can talk to him in there. It was great seeing you, Clara. Oh my god.
Gak.
Just put it over there in the corner. That's where the shack's gonna be.
Oh, your eyes closed.
Hello. Basil wipes
Hi.
off sweat with her muddy hands. Hi, it's so nice to see
Mud
you.
trails across your face.
What are you doing here?
Is Clara
Gak's-
here?
Yeah, she's
Yes.
here. Gak, don't open your eyes. We're not done, but Clara's
Okay,
here.
I'm gonna face the wall.
Gak like puts his hands up against the wall and he starts to move, and then there's a tree in the way.
Oh,
and he's
hold
like,
on. And Clara casts minor illusion and creates just a wall behind you, Gak, so you can't see what's happening behind you. Kind of like, you know, those TV shows like Move That Truck, except this show.
Extreme
Clara-
Gak.
Clara casts the spell and says, "You're fine. You can open your eyes. You can't see behind you."
Hi, Clara.
And he's just immediately
Hi.
just gonna give her a hug.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh my god, Joe, there's a really big bug in here. You have to come and get it. Oh my god, sorry. Holy shit, it's one of those house centipedes. Please hurry or I'm gonna
Oh, I
cry.
hate those. Now I'm gonna look around my.
Well,
Sorry.
hi. So what you said you need my help with some enchanting?
Yes. So, okay. So a lot has happened,
Mm-hmm.
and
She looks
for,
past the illusionary wall.
For once, I'm not gonna explain everything that's happened.
Okay.
But we've fought a lot of bad people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a knight now. We're all knights. We were
Wow.
given a lot of money and this castle, and we're making my house look like, we're making my room look like my house back in Siri. It's a long story.
What did you need my help enchanting?
So I had an idea.
Yeah.
We were talking about how there's grass down here, and I'm assuming there's trees and stuff. And Ursa said she's making a pond, which is what I have at my house. And I was thinking like it'd be really cool if you like walk into this room and it feels like it's outside. And
Okay.
I had an idea, and I don't know how to do it, and I wanted to ask you, and maybe we could figure it out together. But we were in another castle. Long story short, this guy had runes on all the walls, and then when he died because we killed him, his house blew up.
Okay.
But look, it was like the whole place because it was like these rune things that he'd set up, right? And I want to make my ceiling look like the sky. And I can do that. Like I can do that right now.
And Gak casts minor illusion, and it's not the whole ceiling, but it's just like above them
Five.
a little bit. Yeah,
It's like a
5 foot
square.
by 5 foot.
He's like, and I want to put this on the ceiling, like big. And I was thinking that maybe we could use runes to do that, but I don't know. And I figure you know more.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, once they're done with what they're doing, that should be trivial.
You think so?
Yeah. How about follow me and we'll go out of your room and I'll show you the incantation and we'll work on it so that when they're done, we can come in here and start casting the spell.
Okay.
And as they walk out, Gak goes,
Quick question. What does trivial mean?
Not hard.
Gotcha.
And Clara just like kind of waves to Basil and Yrsa as she like takes Gak out of the room. Over time, Basil and Yrsa is able to create the pond and put trees inside of Gak's room.
Yes, we
And
do.
Gak, after a couple hours with Clara, you are confident that you, with the help of Clara, will be able to cast this enchantment. If you want to post the picture of Gak's room, you can.
Oh, hell
Gak,
yeah.
you come back into the room and you see, well, what you're about to see in this picture that you post.
I'm trying to find the right one. I have a bunch of pictures. Oh no, there's so many pictures. Because I also want to post one in the Foundry chat, and it'll show up on stream.
Yeah, let me find some. So here's the layout. I'll post the layout in Foundry.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, that's a good one. The overhead layout.
Oh,
I
yeah,
made
right.
Gak's room in Sims. And I have a couple pictures that are like picture of his house.
Mhm.
Bada bing. There's his house. Imagine more trees.
Hell yeah. It's so
And
cute.
then picture of the little pond, and there's a dock that's built above the pond that's just like the dock at his house.
Yours just gonna find some fish to go in his pond.
Hell yeah. So I will say, during the rest of this day, with the help of Clara, you are able to enchant the ceiling, kind of like the ceiling in the Hogwarts castle. It reflects what is outside. So as you walk in, it actually looks like outside, surrounded by stone. But Gak, your room over the next couple days is finished.
Nice.
So with that, most of your rooms by this point would get to a point where they would be mostly finished, needing furnishings and stuff like that. But Gideon, I will say you have started work on that item at this point. Everyone else, I will say it is now. We started this whole thing on the 26th of Elysius. I'll make a note. Okay, so it is now the 1st of, how do I say this? Alliant? Man, these month names, I didn't make these, guys. Sorry. Is it Eliant the 1st?
I want it to be aligned.
Elliot?
All right.
I like
I'm gonna
aligned
say-
or alaint.
It's a. Oh man. Whatever. It's the
believe in
1st
you.
of this month. You all gather your things for those who are traveling. Rian. Enid. Yes, Rian.
I was just gonna say there was one thing, and Nick, I don't know if you wanted to have this be role played, but
shoot.
the cantrip.
That is correct.
So maybe like the day before they leave, after the construction is kind of settled in Gak's room, Rian would. Is it like one of those hippie like bead doors, but it's like vines that cover it up? Or...
Sure.
Okay, so Rian's gonna push into it and then kind of knock on the stone next to it and be like, "Gak, are you in there?"
You hear like a splash. And Gak's like,
Yeah, I'm coming. Wait 1 second.
Okay.
You could just
He
see
was
Gak.
hiding.
And you can see him through the vines, and he's clearly just swimming in his pond.
Oh.
I just thought Gak is huge, and this pond is not that big. So Gak
Yeah.
is probably like just doing circles.
He's just walking around. And
Kiddie
he
pool.
gets out and grabs his robe and puts it on.
You can come in if you want to.
Okay, I will. And he'll come in and he'll be like, oh, wow. This is really nice, Gak.
Thank you. Over there's my bedroom, and it looks like my house. Inside it, I have my bed, and I have
Nice.
a light, and my
Mhm.
suit of armor's also in there.
Oh, your knightly suit of armor. That's
Yeah.
very nice. Well, that's good. Probably best that you're not going to be wearing that in battle, or else it could get damaged and then not so
Yeah.
not so formal anymore.
It was really hard to walk in it, and also I tried to, like, I was so tired of walking. I tried to like Misty Step, and I couldn't even do it.
Oh wow.
So
That-
it's probably not a good idea to have.
No,
it.
yeah, that
on.
definitely doesn't seem great. Well, amazing. This is very, very, very nice.
Thank you.
I did want to come and ask you something.
Yeah. What's up?
You were able to create that spell where you could summon spoons, right?
And Gak he like acts like he's about to reach for something that's in the air, and he just puts his hand around a spoon that appears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I had an idea, and I was wondering if you might be able to help me with it.
Okay. What are you?
Well, very soon, I'm going to be in a situation where I'll be training more than one person at a time. And it might
Okay.
even get to a point where I'm not even going to be in charge of training people. What I'm wondering if you could do is create some type of cantrip that can summon or conjure. It might be an illusion, but something that could serve as a target practice, that could maybe emulate the quick movements of an opponent that someone might have to dodge out of the way of or try and hit. Does
like
that
a bee?
Yeah, I guess so, like a bee. Maybe a little bit bigger, maybe the size. It'd be interesting if it could sort of grow and shrink, right? If someone is having a hard time hitting the target, it gets a little bigger, but if they're doing really well, it gets smaller. So like maybe like watermelon to bee as like a size scale.
Okay.
I don't know if that's possible at all. I just
I'm gonna be honest with you, Rian. I also don't know if that's possible, but I will try.
okay.
That sounds pretty cool.
And all I can ask is that you'll try. So thank you very much, Gak. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, I kind of ran out of ideas after the spoon one.
Have you thought about making forks?
I feel like I could probably just find a fork somewhere if I needed one.
That's true. I didn't think of it that way. There's always enough forks, never enough spoons. So.
I need spoons all the time. So much of what we eat is liquid. There's so much of it. Soup is everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Soup is everywhere. That is
And
very true. Yes.
Chip said something that made me laugh a lot earlier. But he said that when I was in the pond, it was like Gak soup. But it wasn't hot.
So it was a cold soup.
Mm-hmm. It made me laugh. I just wanted to
It
say
is
that.
it's funny. I didn't realize Chip could tell jokes.
I think it was more of an observation, but it is funny. Yeah, you're very observant.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. Thank you. Well, I'll let you get back to your cold soup then.
Yes, I'm going to try right now.
Never mind. I
closes
have a
his
great.
eyes.
Yeah. Oh,
Jack,
I'll leave you to it.
right now, you close your eyes. You open them. Spoon appears.
I did the spoon one again.
I will say with that, this spell will be a work in progress over your travel. There are a couple places that I am sure you guys are going to be hitting, and I've marked them on the Evrand map. Why did that stop? Whatever. What's this one?
Quack, 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 quack.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
Okay. So,
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
all of you guys, your things, Enid, Rian. Oh my god, I totally forgot about this. This is gonna be so dumb going back retroactively about it. Basil, you were doing some research over these past couple days, and even talking to the clerics and clergy of the Raven Queen of Stradina, trying to reach out to the Raven Queen. You get a lead on a place that you are trying to go to, trying to find out more information about the Raven Queen herself. The lead is taking you to Mirror Lake. I know Yursa
I know what that
mentions to everybody that you would like to speak with Sludge on the way to Lunaria, which is within the Sunless Marsh. The Sunless Marsh is a place of interest. Mirror Lake is a place of interest. Wodell is the last place you guys were within Valamine that could be used with the port glass. So I asked the question to everyone but Gideon, who is staying behind and seeing the renovations of the keep and working on a very special item, a very important item. Where and how are you traveling to get to Lunaria across the map?
Someone help me find Lunaria on the map.
It's the
Well,
Mallow
I was gonna say,
Grove.
it's the Mallow
It's
Grove.
Oh,
It's
okay,
hidden
okay.
away.
It's hidden, yeah.
So, I just realized something.
Mhm.
We should port glass to Wodale because we have 640 gold worth of cart, tackle, and horses. Because we plane shifted out of Wodale and they're still there.
That is
Yeah.
true.
That
There
is
you go.
true.
Yep,
And
that is
Basil
true.
can check in with her friend. Oh wait, her friend may have already left though.
She did leave, that's right. John said that she did leave.
Yeah. Well, you can see your house better.
Can check out
In
the house.
in the hole.
In
Yeah.
the hole.
You can check out the hole a lot
we
better.
can go flip off the hole. Be like, fuck you, bitch.
It's in the hole.
Yeah.
So, you are port glassing to Wodale.
Yeah.
All right. It is Eliant the third. Still summer, but getting into the last section of the summer months. As all of you say goodbye to Gideon and the keep, you
I'll
port
keep working
glass.
on that thing, Gideon.
Leave it to me.
You port glass to Wodale. You gather the horse and carriages. You do notice that it has been a couple of weeks since you all have left. That black, sludge-like fungal substance has crept back into the hole. It is the trees around Wodale, that hole where Basil's garden used to be, looks to be cleansing itself, like plants, like weeds dying and never returning. There is more there is a little bit more livelihood within Wodale. The fishing market is back up and running ever so slightly. The guards of Valamine are perplexed. They have no idea what happened and how this is happening, but they are, even their faces, you can see as you are traversing out, that they are happier than when you were here before. You travel, well, actually, I'll ask, is the party going towards the Sunless Marsh first, or towards Riffin?
So the thing that Enid wants to do with Basil, unless we do it on our way back, needs to be in a city, but we could do it on the way back too.
The one place I was thinking it would happen would be Riffin.
Why don't we head there then?
Okay. So, as you all know, those who have been within Valamine, Enid probably wouldn't know this. Riffin, out of the different small cities on this coast, is notorious for criminal activity and black market dealing, gangs. The perfect place for Enid to take Basil on a gambling night of fun.
A date.
As you get to Riffin,
This is the first thing Basil did was flip off a guy. And
Yep.
tell
And
him
then-
to fuck off.
And I think Gak might have also shot the same guy with a missile on his journey through the city.
probably.
It could have been a different guy. I think it's the same one.
Who knows?
I like to think it's the same one.
He tried to steal Gak's book, and Gak said, well, steal from him
How to
first. And
steal
then he
it
also...
first.
So,
That
you
is
travel to Wodale, and you eventually head to Riffin. You see multiple people throughout this town. Some of them hunched over within a alleyway, sort of dealing things to each other. You see people gambling on the streets. There's many eyes that peer towards this group of individuals that look like they have a decent chunk of money. One of the individuals is a scraggly older man with salt and pepper hair and a beard that looks very unkept, kind of hunched over. Comes over to the party with a tin in his hand and says, "Could you spare some coin, please?"
Ursa
We
will
don't-
drop too many coins in there. I don't know if she's there, but she's giving this crazy guy some money.
Roll a d20.
Okay.
I would just like to say that while we're in
well-
Riffin, Rian has, for the past couple of weeks, he's been soft lad, like he's had like a little bit of a smile on his face. He's back to like pre-Ursa Rian, like
I was gonna
What does that
say
mean?
just absolute stone face.
stone cold.
He looks like an absolute asshole right now, just an absolute bastard. So people leave him alone in this awful place.
Oh, I thought.
So you drop 9 platinum into this guy's
Oh, lovely.
cup.
Enid, seeing her drop that, not only like what the fuck are you doing? But she's gonna look around and see what eyes just saw one of our party members drop that much money
Here you go. Have a good day.
casually.
Thank you, miss.
Oh,
Very
And
welcome.
He puts it away into his jacket, and you see he starts to limp away. And then immediately out of nowhere, his hunchback is gone,
Man,
and he's
fuck you,
upright,
John.
and he's
How are you
running
gonna prey
away.
on her like that.
Gak is gonna Misty step in front of him.
Basil's gonna chase after him too.
And Gak just holds out his hand and says,
Give it back now.
But she gave it to me.
Pricks don't get money.
Oh my.
You've never been to Riffin, then?
I have, and I am not afraid of the people here.
Be careful, or I'm going to ask for more back than she gave you.
Fine. He hands you back 8 platinum.
She gave him 9, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What is
It's all
this
there.
ambience?
This is-
But then Gak also takes 1 platinum and he goes,
No,
"Here
no,
you
no,
go."
no. Basil's gonna grab it from Gak.
I'm gonna use a different one. People fucking-
While they're retrieving Yursa's money, Enid's going to say, remember how when we met you were way more thorny?
Yes, I do.
Play that up a little bit here. It might save us from getting mugged.
Oh, yes.
Enid, I'm going to be very honest in this moment. If anyone tries to mug us here, and he's just going to shake his head.
Okay, what about pickpockets? You might not see them.
And he just looks to Yursa, who's incredibly perceptive. It's possible, but
I mean, if you guys want to be overly confident, that's fine.
overly confident. Okay.
Another individual walks up to the party. He looks like he's wearing a very obsidian leather long trench coat. His black hair looks to be gelled backwards. Very icky individual walks up to all of you and says, "Do you need help around Riffin?"
Please fuck off.
Rude.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, did she stutter? Fuck off.
Please go away.
Gak casts minor illusion and you hear "fuck off" really loud and like booming voice.
Very well.
I'm
And he just
guessing
walks
Gak
off.
and Basil are back over towards the group.
Yeah.
Basil did grab the platinum.
Did you get the 9 platinum back? Or was it 8?
It
We
was
got
8.
the 8, and then
Gak was
Basil
gonna
grabbed.
give him 1, and
Yeah.
then Basil interrupted as Gak was talking, and he's
Yeah,
like, "Okay."
Basil would have grabbed it and then just shoved the guy away.
Okay. So you all need to settle down for the night unless you all want to continue past Riffin. However, Enid, you have been to places like this. Maybe not above the surface, but definitely below. You kind of feel at home here. And you see that there are many people outside of a tavern that are drinking, people that come out walking and then fall over the fence on the walkway out and just kind of like leap over. You see a tavern nearby.
Mm-hmm. She will, seeing that, she will loop her arm around Basil's arm and say, "So, I don't know how much you like to go out and party, but I know you've had a very stressful past little while, given your garden and family and everything, and looks like there's a fun time happening over there."
You just see the shock on Basil's face. She looks up at Enid, looks down at where her arm is wrapped around her, and then looks back up. I'm sorry, I didn't hear a single thing you said. Could you repeat that?
Do you want to go drinking and gambling with me?
With you? With
No one else right here asking.
yeah. I'll go gambling and drinking. I do that sometimes.
Hey everyone, we'll be back. And then takes Basil to the tavern.
Okay, make sure to kill people before they kill you.
Will do.
I will say once they head off, another individual walks up to the group of the
Oh
three
my
of you,
God.
and you. Yeah, Rian, what are you doing?
I just before he even gets within breathing distance, Rian is just gonna look, and he is just going to shake his head with the most stern look on his face, not say anything, but try and move this guy with no words.
You you see him walk over and like put his hand up to gesture towards you. Sees that, he just turns to the side and walks towards a piece of paper that's on a board, and just like and just starts looking at it. So, leaving you behind, Basil, Enid, you walk into a tavern known as the Boarhead.
The Boarhead.
Yep. You walk in and you hear individuals laughing and jovial music playing. Let's go this one.
Nice.
Enid, you walk in and you're immediately able to find the individuals gambling, playing dice games, dragon's chess. You can see some of them are playing this game where they try and stab between their fingers with this knife and see who the last one is.
I used to play that.
Same. You also see people arm wrestling. Where are you going? What are you doing?
Well, as she looks around at that, she'll just say, "All right, Basil, what have you not tried of the selection here?"
I've never gambled. I've done my fair share of drinking before. I don't know, gambling never really interested me, maybe because I'm usually alone when I go to these kinds of things.
That's okay, yeah, it's a bad habit. But let's give it a shot. Let's start off with a few drinks. How strong do you like your liquor?
Any kind.
All right, and that barkeep, she'll just lay down. She knows it's probably shitty and not actually like there's no good stuff here, so she'll just lay down 2 silver and say, "Just give me the strongest you got, 2, please."
Yeah, you see behind the counter is a large 7-foot orc that looks to all of you and says,
All right.
and just turns around and starts grabbing drinks, sets them down. During this time, there are multiple individuals that walk over to the 2 of you and ask to buy you drinks.
No.
No, thank you.
Like, Basil, not Basil, Enid could give, like, the biggest, like, resting bitch face here. Like, she dagger eyes at everybody.
Okay.
We can buy our own drinks, thank you.
You don't have to talk to them.
Okay.
Anyway.
One of them just like just walks away.
So let's try out gambling. Do you want to go first, or you want to watch me do a round?
I've never done this before. Do you care if I watch?
Of course.
First?
And then she'll get in line or put the money down for her to get in next, and
Okay.
yeah.
So without actually playing the gambling games, which take a little bit of time,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you roll
Okay.
a sleight of hand check with advantage.
Okay. Yes. With advantage.
Yes, because you've gambled a lot before.
29.
Yeah. So Enid, you play Liar's Dice as your first game. And you are able to, with amongst 4 other individuals, Basil kind of watching. The name of the game is to basically call out numbers underneath this cup with the dice, and whoever's left over from this game is the winner. Enid, you are the winner of this round. You earn yourself 10 gold pieces.
Ooh.
Nice.
One of the
Alright.
individuals gets up and he's like, "I'm pretty sure you cheated."
Cheating and talent, very fine line there, so.
Ugh. And he kind of gets up, grabs his coin purse, grabs his cowboy hat, and puts it on. And walks away.
Alright, Basil, do you think you kind of see what to do now? Want to take a shot?
And she's just like watching in amazement, and she looks down. You can get so much money for just lying.
It's not more than other routes, but yeah.
Good job. And she like holds up her hand to high five Enid.
She'll high five her back, give her a pat on the back, sit her down in the chair, and say, "Whatever happens this round, it's your first round. So, but I'm rooting on you."
Okay.
So is Enid
Okay.
in on this one, or is it Basil this time?
I think it's
Basil.
Sleight of hand check, not with advantage.
Okay.
Isn't bad.
Hold on. Basil, the first round, luckily you were not called out. You have to call another person liar, saying if they called too many numbers out. You weren't called out, and you kind of got nervous on the first round, but you made it through the first round. The second and third round, you start to pick up how the game works, and you actually win the pot. You win 10 gold. One of the individuals looks to be a tabaxi man, says, "I'm pretty sure they're cheating."
Can you prove it?
Well, if I could prove it, I would. And you kind of grab.
Shut your mouth. Go away.
Fuck
Go.
you.
Go. Fuck you.
I got a little ego there. Nice.
He grabs his coin purse, and the other three at the table start laughing. Are you doing it again?
Yeah, but let's both go in this time. Let's do a pair. Like,
Okay.
I don't know what gambling
Teams,
game's a
like, I
pair,
don't know.
but yeah.
Okay. So, both of you roll a sleight of hand check. Basil with not advantage, Enid advantage.
22.
15.
Okay. So the other three individuals sitting at the table, you are left with a human, an elf, and an orc. Sitting there, the other three lose, and it's the two of you left. I will say this, Enid, you can tell that your hand is better than Basil's, and it is your turn. Are you going to take the pot or throw the game?
She's gonna throw it.
Okay. Enid calls out a ridiculous number that Basil you know is not true. And Basil, just with the adrenaline going through you, you've won multiple times. You call Enid a liar, and Enid you lose. And Basil, you win another 10 gold.
She's just gonna, go like, and she's, without thinking, she's gonna lean over and just hug her and like do the cute little shake thing.
All right, winner.
I
You
won.
did. But now that you got all that money, I think you need to buy me a drink.
The orc at this point slams the table and removes his dagger and says,
I don't know what you're doing, but you're cheating. Both of you. You're working together.
What are you gonna fucking do about it?
Is it because we're beautiful women that you feel emasculated?
No.
Maybe just be better.
What happens is he gets up. He doesn't know what to do. He's never been talked to that way. He gets up, and as he turns around, and he accidentally bumps into another individual. Looks like a very hulking, muscular human individual that looks at him and says, "Hey, watch yourself!" And the orc kind of looks at him, grabs him, and says,
Fuck you! And
punches him in the face. And at this point, you see that a bar brawl starts to break out in the tavern.
Oh yeah. Alright, I don't know how this would work necessarily, but I would like Enid to try and like help Basil weave through all the throw punches and food and beer flying all around. Basically like spinning her around, sending her there. Sometimes like picking her up and moving her, things like that would be really fun.
While that's all happening, Rian, Gak, and Yursa, you walk into the tavern. You see chairs being thrown, tables, people punching each other. Someone gets stabbed. What are you doing?
Oh,
Jack's,
Driving tots.
I don't
Yeah.
like this place.
Gak just materializes a spoon and throws it at somebody.
It's their culture.
The individual gets hit with a spoon. Someone throw a fucking spoon at me! He picks up a spoon from a table, just chucks it at someone else. It actually gets lodged in the dude's eye, and then he starts.
See?
Excuse me, could we all just take a moment to take deep breaths? And
Yursa, I maybe you should try it. Maybe throw
punching
a.
people in the face?
No. Gak, give her a spoon to throw at somebody.
Gak's like looking somewhere else, and he puts his hand like behind him towards Yursa, and a spoon's just in his hand.
Just try it.
I am not gonna throw a spoon at anyone.
Gak like takes Yursa's shoulders and moves her down a little bit as a beer comes flying.
Wow.
Do they see Basil and Enid?
Yeah, you see Basil and Enid. Enid, you are like kind of leading a sort of dance on top of these tables with Basil as you're jumping from table to table, kind of kicking some individuals, spinning Basil around. You see Enid and Basil like dancing amongst the tavern brawl. Yeah. Actually,
Basil's having a good time.
So is Enid.
while you're dancing, one of the individuals grabs your hair, Basil, and his hands get cut from the razor.
She tried. Yeah, raise the blade.
They're like, you're a psycho.
Rian, while you're standing out there, an individual that looks like he has a great sword on his back looks towards you, sees you, and starts walking towards you.
You know, it's been a long time since I've been in a bar brawl.
He goes to punch you, Rian.
Sorry, I can't hear you. You're saying Rian's with 22 AC is just so fucking fast.
Rian, you
He doesn't
jujitsu
hit
this guy
hard.
just like,
Pop, pop, pop.
yeah.
Just these quick punches. Using his own body weight will slam him into a table. Falls into the table. Rian's gonna go, woo! All right, that sounds good. All right, let's see. And Rian's in it now. He's like,
so you're at the front.
If anyone starts to walk towards Yursa and Gak's gonna cast Big B's hand and slam them against the wall before they can get to Yursa.
It happens. They walk. You see an individual walking towards you guys, and they look at Yursa and go, "Hi, little lady." Just slams them into the wall.
Gak turns to Yursa.
He goes, quick, pick his pockets.
I'm just gonna stand right here, out of the way. She has like her hands up, and I think if we all just breathe, maybe.
Yursa, like I said, you should throw a spoon at somebody.
Yursa's going to. Gak, may I have a spoon?
Yes.
Yes. Yursa's gonna throw a spoon at Rian.
I will say, Rian is Rian. You barely missed the spoon. You see it thrown.
I threw a spoon.
You did. Good job. Try again and maybe hit this time. As he's going back.
Sorry, Gak, I need another spoon.
Now what Rian's gonna try and do is he's gonna try and like move people around to get hit by the spoons that Yursa's throwing at him.
Gak is
so
giving.
funny.
Gak's like,
Take 3.
I need more. Thank you.
Here you go.
Yursa's pelting people with spoons.
Oh my
I'm
god.
very sorry. I'm trying to hit the man behind you.
This is the best first date ever.
While this is all going on, back in the
Amazing.
keep, Gideon. Gideon, you feel a disturbance in the force.
I'm sure it's nothing.
Goes back to reading it again. Back to
Yursa, did you see? That guy flipped into a table and knocked over 3 other people and a whole tray of drinks because you
Okay.
threw a spoon at him.
Then hold still so I can throw my spoon at you.
Yeah, we're still dancing.
Basil, you're still dancing.
the guy that Big B's hand was put against the wall. Gak is now lifting him into the air.
Is Rian a strength-based character or only dex?
Nope.
Damn it,
Dex,
never mind.
As you do that, Gak, you hear one individual. Oh, we're using spells, are we?
Oh shit.
You see a firebolt get chucked across.
Holy shit!
Oh shit.
See, Yersa, now you can use a water thing to put that out.
Yeah, Enid stops dancing very quickly and starts to kind of leave.
Gak
I would
gets rid
say-
of
Like
Basil's hand and
the
the guy falls
whole
onto
place.
a table.
Probably like make her way to the front. She wouldn't let go of Basil. She'll like lead Basil.
Well,
She
actually,
wouldn't
I would
leave
say
her.
Enid, since you guys were dancing, you would have been near the back of the tavern, and there's a door that leads out. You guys could sneak out.
Okay, we'll go there. Since she saw the fire starting, that's like a cue to leave.
Okay. So as everyone in the tavern is brawling, let's see, where's it at? I love this. In the background, Enid. You can hear the music, you can hear the brawling in the background, but the two of you have gotten out of this tavern in one piece.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut that short. I just saw fire and was like, that's bad, you know? We don't have
No,
to think
yeah.
catch on fire. We should probably leave.
You see another light.
I agree. They're fine in there, right?
Maybe we should do something about that.
Maybe.
I don't have anything to do about that.
I mean, I do have, you know, for a cleric, you think I'd be able to like help things. I can heal or cause more damage.
No water stuff.
You know what? I woke up this morning and didn't think of my spells.
And she's gonna like look around. Is there a bucket of water or anything like that?
I will say that with one Yersa being in the tavern, two, this is probably a normal occurrence. The tavern isn't on fire. It's quickly.
It's just like patches of fire. Okay.
Yeah, there's just now smoldering little spots and like little like explosions on the wall. Also, the tavern is made of stone.
Oh, right.
So
that would make sense.
It probably was made of wood at one point.
Actually, it's clearly fine. I'm just overreacting, you know? So.
You know, that's okay. It's what we do for our party members. But I will say this has never happened to me before.
The fire, the dancing, or
All of it together. Happening together.
well, I had a great time. I hope you had fun. Sorry, I got really awkward and weird towards the end.
No. Are you like tired, or do we want to like maybe find another place, or is that too stupid? Maybe that's too stupid.
We could go somewhere else. If you want. I mean, somewhere that maybe doesn't have fire.
Yes. I know that there was this one place I went to when I first got here. We could try going there.
Yeah, and maybe we could do a more less gambling and dancing and more
Maybe.
drinking and chatting a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds really really nice. I could take you there.
Lead the way.
And Basil's going to like awkwardly like hold up her arm like how Enid did.
And she'll take it.
Oh, and they walk over there, wherever it is.
Okay. You walk to another establishment, and I will say,
Yeah.
there are many establishments within this town. Probably just due to the fact of what this town is. There's probably not much to do other than crime and drinking. So I will say, for the sake of time and everything, you guys go from tavern to tavern, kind of drinking, conversing, and near the end of the night, you emerge from the last tavern known as the Humble Flagon. You kind of, actually, both of you make Constitution saving throws.
To see how drunk we are.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my god! I got a natural 1.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
It's
Basil,
so bad.
Basil, you are definitely hardcore. Like, you're drunk. You're not hardcore drunk, but you're drunk. You're like feeling good drunk. You know.
Yeah.
Enid, natural 1.
She's
Walking out of the tavern, you almost fall over. Only because Basil catches you. You do not. You are drunk.
yeah.
You are-
She's like flops over in the arms. She's like, "Thank you for catching me, Raven Princess. It was really nice of you."
Let's go, Petal, and she's gonna like lift
Who's
her onto her
Petal?
back. Stupid name, sorry.
Okay.
Lifts her up like a piggyback, and then I'm guessing they might have already stopped and like at least set up rooms for the night before going to do stuff, maybe.
Yeah. I'll say you're probably not the first tavern, but maybe probably the last tavern you were in.
Okay.
You were able to get some rooms.
Basil's gonna put down. She's gonna have like 2 per room just for safety reasons. And then she's just gonna carry like prepay if we hadn't already put, and then she's just gonna cast sending to, let's say Ursa right now, and just say like, hey, I pre-booked rooms. Let's just say like 2 rooms, and then since we have an odd number, just tell them you're with Basil and blah blah blah. And
Just
so
mark
she'll
off 5 gold.
Okay. And she'll just carry up Enid into one of the rooms, and she'll stay there with her to make sure she doesn't choke on her vomit and die.
Hot.
Hot.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
I don't think there's anything for Enid.
Enid can talk more. She might say something like that the fire was scary, and that her nightmares, or she'll say, "I don't want to go to bed because of the nightmares." But I'm so tired. Shut up, Moon, and then fall face first on the bed.
Well, Basil just like sit next to her against the head frame and just like nicely pat and rub her head.
So as the night ends for those two, Re-end, Gak, Yursa, you emerge. This is probably like an hour earlier. Walking around Riffin, is there anything you guys want to converse about before heading to bed?
No, I think yours is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the rest of you head to bed within the Humble Flagon Tavern. Gideon, you are able to make pretty good headway on your item currently. You have the actual item itself forged. Now is the hard part. You got to enchant it. So you go to bed tonight and just think to yourself, I feel like they got into trouble, but maybe they didn't. And you go to bed. Is there
They did.
is there anything Gideon's doing before bed that's of note or not?
Not really.
Okay. So you wake up the next day. Oh, that one's way too much. Jesus Christ. Let's do this. There we go. The 4 of you wake up the next day. Well, all of you wake up the next day. Rien, you're hurting a little bit.
So is Enid.
Gak, you're fine. So is Yursa. Basil, you have a slight headache, but you're fine. Enid, you open your eyes, and and just immediately want to close them again.
Oh my god.
But all of you are able to reconvene.
Well, yours is going to be obnoxiously loud because she had a fine night. Good morning, everyone. The Earth says hello today. It's bright and early. She's going to whip open the curtains and look at the sun. It's gorgeous, and we're all going to have a lovely day today, right?
Basil's reaching over and like putting her palm over Enid's eyes. Yes, normally I agree with you. Mornings are amazing. Except for today.
What's
They are
today?
bad. It's we drank our weight in liquor.
We made
And
a
we-
mistake.
We might have inadvertently caused the bar fight last night.
So you're the reason I was throwing spoons at Rian.
Not technically. We were trying to make men cry, and
Well, that
as
was
they-
all Basil. That was all Basil. I was not. That was all Basil.
I was doing the thing that I do whenever I'm in Riffin, and I have a loose tongue, and I made a few men feel bad about themselves, and one of them ran into another man, and then they got into a fight. So I didn't throw a punch. I only threw words.
Aha. Okay, well, that sounds exciting.
Yursa,
Yes.
do you have a plant that helps with headaches?
I do.
Yes.
Oh, somebody, anybody. That'd be cool.
You're so Basil.
Both.
Basil can reach into her little belt of vials or whatnot and like pulls out some, and then she sprinkles them in Basil's hand. You just eat them.
I know it doesn't happen. I don't go out and have fun anymore. What do? I sniff them?
No, you just eat them.
Okay. And she'll eat them.
So, gathering yourselves, Rian, are you making Enid do training this morning?
I feel like he might.
He might be in a rough.
He
doesn't even.
he's
Is this
sitting down.
villain era?
He's sitting down at the table and like he's sipping his morning tea. And he kind of like he goes to lean back to take a sip, and there's a little bit of like a kink in his neck, and he goes, "Yeah, Enid had a rough night. We're not going to train today."
Can
It's all
Yursa
Enid.
try to throw a spoon at Rian without him noticing?
Gak has to give you one.
Gak.
Yeah.
May I have a spoon?
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Gak gives one to her.
You're just gonna try to throw it like behind his head. Throw it at him.
What's your passive perception, Rian?
Not high anymore.
Yeah, bitch.
14. I mean, it's fine, but
I'm gonna say it's gonna hit you.
okay.
Yes! I hit him with a spoon, everyone. Look, I did the bar fight.
Good job,
Yay.
Yursa. You're
Thank
so
you.
wonderful.
How
When
does
did
that
we
feel,
start
Rian?
throwing spoons?
While you were
A
distracted,
lot of things happened last night.
while you were distracted, Gak is the only one who sees this. There's a halfling individual who walks over and just takes a spoon and puts it in his jacket. Just walks away.
What the fuck is this town? Oh my god.
People out here stealing spoons. What the fuck?
I hate this place.
And Gak's like, I would steal it back, but it's gonna disappear soon anyway. So
What do you mean, dude? It looks like an iron spoon. He can make some. He can get some money for some iron.
he could get some money from it. That'd
It's
be
like
fun.
recycling bottles, you know.
And then immediately be hunted because he sold him a fake item.
Yeah. So,
It's like everything's good.
so the journey as it is currently, the goal is to get to Lunaria. However, there is some things that Rian needs to take care of in Hambufort. Basil needs to travel to Mirror Lake. And Gak has his own things as well in the area. I would ask the party, are we splitting up at this point, or are we continuing together, and where are we going?
Gak's gonna go with Yrsa to Lunaria.
Okay.
Enid's going with Rian because they already talked about it. So wherever Rian goes.
So I guess that means Rian would also be going to Lunaria, because the fastest way to Hambufort would be through Lunaria.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're cool to pass through, which hopefully everybody, I also want to say what's up to what's his name, the commander.
Yolindor?
Yeah, Yolindor.
Say what's
Yeah,
up.
be like, yo, dude, let's spar. Let's see how it goes.
I got these moves.
Okay. Basil, are you staying with the party to get to Lunaria and then breaking off to Mirror Lake, or are you breaking off now?
No, she's gonna break off now and go to Mirror Lake by herself.
No.
Okay. So, Basil heads to Mirror Lake while the rest of you head to Lunaria.
Because Mirror Lake isn't too far away, right? It's like
No.
a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
It's like a day. So, as Basil heads that way, we head into the Mallow Grove.
Yay!
Walking through Yrsa, you just feel this essence, this reinvigoration as you walk into the tree line of the Mallow Grove. You know this isn't entirely true, but as you get through the tree line, it smells and feels just different from everywhere else in the world. As you're walking and walking, Gak, Enid, you have no idea where you're walking and where you're going, but you're heading just straight through a forest, and you've been traveling for about 4 to 5 hours through this forest. But where Yrsa's walking seems like she knows exactly where she's going. Yrsa, you get to a point where you see the grass around your feet kind of stick straight up, as you know that straight in front of you is the illusionary dome around your city.
Yeah.
And as you go to reach your hand out to go through, immediately another hand on the other side to reach out. Same coloration of skin, as through the dome you see your sister Willow peek through, grab you, hug you, and say, "Oh, you're home," as you walk through and see the city in the trees, Lunaria. And she kind of grabs you and pulls you through and says, "What? Why are you here?
Oh, I am so happy to see you, and look at you. You're so tall, and you're so pretty, and look at your hair, and look at your face, and you're just..." I'm just gonna give her another hug.
Oh. She kind of pushes you away. "You didn't tell me you were coming."
I know, it was a surprise, and look, I brought all of my friends, and Brienne, of course, is here too.
"Hi, Rian."
I guess I'm not a friend anymore, Willow. It's good to see you.
You're
How are you?
more than a friend, but not
what's
family.
What's new, and what's going on, and tell me everything.
Okay. Walk with me. As she continues to walk, you see just the lights and your city in front of you. You just feel like you've been away for years, but it's only been a month. But you almost feel this connection, this tether reattached to you, Yrsa. You feel the Feywild just emanating in this space. So, not a lot's going on here. The rift has become a little bit more unstable, but not by much. Some bigger things have been coming through, but nothing I can't handle. Let's see. Yelindor has set up a perimeter further out from the bubble. The people of Valamine have kind of forgotten about us, which is good.
It's very good.
Man. A lot's happened. It's only been a month. What about you?
Oh, well. What do you know about vampires?
Little to nothing?
Great, we'll have a very long lunch. This is, Enid, and this is my friend Gak.
Hi, I'm
Nice to meet
Gak.
you.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Willow.
Also, Yursa said she brought all her friends, but not all of her friends are here.
Well,
Yes,
where
I-
are the other ones?
Well, Basil went to visit Mirror Lake, and my friend Gideon is... We have a keep now. That's exciting.
Wow. That's awesome. When do I get to visit?
Oh, I think we are actually working on getting a teleportation circle set up, so hopefully soon.
Oh. Alright. Well, hurry up. Oh,
You-
I totally forgot. And you see that she whistles. And she kind of stands still. She says, wait for it. And you hear... And from the tree line running is a large black bear that runs up to her and nudges up to her and says, hi Milo. And she just kind of like scritches his ears. Sis, this is Milo. Well, new-ish companion.
You can see Yursa is like super wide-eyed, and she's going to give Milo a hug if he will allow it.
You see that Milo looks at you like sheepishly, and Willow says, "No, that's my sister I was telling you about. You be nice."
Oh,
And he
you're
just
just a
walks up
big
to you.
grump, aren't you? And she's gonna give him a hug.
Be nice. And he kind of lets it happen as you start hugging Milo. From above, you hear, "Welcome back." As you look up and you see an elven individual with long ears, bright green hair braided on one side with this intricate elven armor and these piercing yellow eyes. You see Yelindor.
Hello, it's been so long.
It's only been a month, but welcome back.
Yursa looks at Rian.
Hello, Yelindor. It's good to see you again.
Hello, Rian. Still training? Learning new things?
Yeah. And now I've moved on to training others as well.
Really?
Yes. In fact, I won't be here for long as I have some business I need to take care of in Humblefort, but I'd love to have an opportunity to show you what I've learned before I leave.
He's really bad at dodging spoons.
I'll
That's
make
true.
sure to grab a spoon. You want to spar me?
I'd like to give you a chance to try.
Rian, you were never one for jokes. It's still not funny, but I'm sure we can spar at some point.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And who are these?
My friends.
If you need a spoon, he's got you covered.
This is Gak
I'm
and
Gak.
Enid.
Hi.
Hello. You see that Yelindor looks towards Willow and Yursa. Yursa, you know this face. It's like, oh, great. We brought
Yeah.
more outsiders into our home.
sorry.
We could have brought more.
She just
Well-
gives like the weakest little smile, like, huh?
It was good to meet all of you. I have to go talk to my scouts. And he turns around and like walks off. Willow just to the two of you. He's always that grumpy.
I mean, can't you guys like magic the stick out of his ass or something like that?
That's funny. That is funny.
It is embedded
only kind
in
of funny.
sediment and mud and dirt, and it will never come undone. Never.
I feel like we gotta try at least. That sounds awful.
No.
That's what Gak and I will work on while you guys focus on what you gotta do here.
It's gotta be so uncomfortable.
I'll see if I can knock something loose during the training. I have a
Please.
Good luck.
score to settle.
Mm.
For too many years, he embarrassed me. Rand's villain arc. This is where he
Man,
Yolendor.
God.
This is
your
back on
Taylor
the-
Swift album is Reputation.
Jesus
oh
Christ.
my god.
Yrsa looks to Willow and she just says, and she's kind of like looking around, taking everything in. It seems as though you're doing just fine without me. I mean, look at this place. It looks like nothing's changed. It looks great.
I wouldn't say that. Things are getting a little bit more rough with the rift. But in turn, that's also powering our city in a way. So the more unstable it gets, the more magic flows through here. You know how it works. So it might look nice. But I might need your help.
Well, that's actually why I wanted to come and see you. I have a lot to try to explain, and I don't think magic was gonna be enough to cut it. And I think I need your help as well.
Well, let's help each other. Follow me. And she leads you guys through, walking through these bridges. You eventually make your way up towards the top, walking through. She walks past the city and walks to an outcropping. You see a small hut with a porch that has two chairs. Rian and Yrsa, you see these, and there's all of these memories that kind of flow back to you. And you see this beautiful pond that's shimmering this pearlescent pink, blue, and green. And in the center, you can see underneath the water what looks like this tear in reality. And Yrsa, you look at it and you can immediately tell that it's gotten bigger. You can feel ever so slightly this like humming vibration in the ground. This and she looks at it and goes, yeah, so remember, I guess it was close to 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was that earthquake, and then a new rift opened.
Right.
You told me about it.
Yes.
When that happened, this one got a little bigger.
Did anything else come out of it?
Just bigger versions of the things that we already take care of. There was one that didn't look like it was from the Feywild, though.
That came out of here.
Yeah.
Well, what did it look like?
It's hard to describe. It looked like a dog. But, and this is gross, but like its skin was almost like burnt off in a way. And it had no skin on its snout, but also like fire coming from its face.
Does Yrsa know what she's describing?
Make a history check.
A 14.
14. No.
Okay, that's fair. And this is the first time you've seen something like that.
Yeah. The first and last. I would have kept the body to investigate more, but as soon as I killed the thing, it kind of just pop, destroyed itself in like a ball of flame.
And nothing was left.
Nothing.
Well, that's not ideal. Okay. Maybe you should sit down for this next part. And
Okay.
Here's just gonna try her best to describe everything that she knows about the rift so far, and like how to kind of make the disconnection between, like, severing the connection between the person on each side, the Demogorgon's planning what he's trying to do, how that might coincide with what's coming out of the rifts, and just like all of the information that she's learned recently about that specifically. The one with Vandrin and like what he's up to and the machine that's kind of powering it. And then she's going to end with, and so I've been doing my best to try to track down all of the other Rift Wardens, but they're very non-responsive. I've heard a little bit from Sludge, and I'm going to go and try to visit them. And, oh, well, we have this idea of trying to kind of unite all of us under one kind of leadership, and if we all work together, we could maybe have better control and close the rifts for good.
Sounds like a good plan. Question.
Yes.
And you said you have to remove the tether from each side. That's what your staff does. Doesn't that mean you have to remove your own tether?
You can tell Yursa didn't really think this part through. Yes, I guess I do. At some point, I suppose I have to do that.
What happens to Lunaria when we close the gate?
Well, well, maybe we don't have to close ours. Ours has never really been an issue before. I mean, we know what comes from the Feywild, but it's nothing compared to what comes from these other places.
So, either we close the gate everywhere, stop Demogorgon, that way. What's the alternative? Kill him?
Oh, well, we yes.
What?
Yursa looks at her party members. That was our plan, right? We were going to kill it.
And we were going to prepare.
Yes. A lot of planning is going to go into it, but that is the plan.
Okay. Right.
Because see, in theory, if we kill him, and we can stop him from manipulating the rifts, well, who's to say we can't keep our rift and maybe some of the more passive ones, and continue to have the wardens protect those rifts, like we're supposed to.
Wow.
I know this is a lot of information, and it probably doesn't seem like it's attainable right now. But when I tell you some of the things that we've done recently, it may sound a little bit more feasible.
Right. Well, if anyone can do it, I know you can, so I'm not worried. I'm a little worried.
feel like Willow and yours are making the same face right now.
Well, I guess you're not going to the Abyss now, so you have time, right?
Right.
I know people are wanting to see you.
I would love to just spend some time here.
Yeah, I think we should table this conversation.
Yeah, okay.
It's something we need to do, but we don't know how to do it. So,
Correct.
okay. Well, let me show you guys the rest of Lunaria, and she takes you all around, kind of walks off and kind of pushes Gak and Enid forward to show off Lunaria. Rian, are you staying in Lunaria until this is all taken care of before heading to Hammerfort?
No. He will be departing after saying his hellos. He might come back, like, after everything's said and done, but he wants to start the process of what's in Hammerfort pretty early on.
Okay.
Is Enid joining Rian and Hamba Fort?
You don't need to be there initially. Yeah, so you can enjoy... In fact, he would insist that you enjoy Lunaria while you're here.
Okay.
I can take you to Hamba Fort, Enid, before I head out.
Okay.
So, with that, and Yursa's definitely, she's staying here.
Oh yeah, she's vibing for a
Okay.
hot minute.
Okay. So, with Willow leading Enid, Gak, and Yursa through Lunaria, Rian, I assume you say your goodbyes to them as you head off to Hammerfort.
Bye.
Are you not gonna fight that guy?
Oh, he'll be back. He's just, it's important. He's gotta get what he's doing in Hammerfort straightened out right now, but he'll be back. Oh, he'll be back.
I guess. Does Rian take the cart? I guess.
No, he could just ride Hikari. He doesn't need the cart.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, his little griffin with no wings. Oh, buddy.
So,
Oofy neck.
with the three of you staying in Lunaria, Rian, you head to Hammerfort, breaking off from the group. Basil, you are heading to Mirror Lake to search for any answers to the Raven Queen at all. And back in the keep, Gideon, you continue on with your process of this item that you are creating. The party split in many directions, luckily with no threats currently at hand. Still some things the party needs to take care of, but at the current moment, it is Alliant the 4th, and you have about a week and a half left. A little bit more of downtime. And with that, I think this is a perfect place for us to end the session as we break off into our different directions.
Woo!
Woo! Thank you for watching the Tales of Evrand. Everybody in the chat, Knights of the Silver Moon, thank you for stopping by. NW Merchant, I know you're there. GG, my friend.
Yeah.
And Joe, take us out.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope that you enjoyed. Be sure to tune in on Saturday for the Isles of Iverion, on Sunday for Buried Time, next Tuesday for the continuation of the Adventures of the Salamander Coast, or next Wednesday for the continuation of Downtime within the Tales of Evrand. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.